For the first time since 1922, the Vanderbilt Commodores will play a home game away from Dudley Field in Vanderbilt Stadium. They moved to Adelphia Coliseum, and today they will play host to the 25th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers on our JP Sports SEC Game of the Week. And hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Neal. So glad you could join us as we put a wrap on this 2000 SEC regular season. And what a season it has been once again for the Southeastern Conference. With Arkansas beating LSU yesterday, that now gives the conference 9 bowl-eligible teams. We shall see if all 9 will go to a bowl game, but wouldn't that be something special? Well, joining me, a guy who is quite special in his own right, my partner all season long, Dave Rowe. And Dave, as we begin to look at this football game, it's become quite apparent that Tennessee might be playing as well as anybody in the country. They've won 5 straight games, and surprisingly, they're doing it with a freshman quarterback, a true freshman quarterback. But there's also a senior in the backfield by the name of Travis Henry, who's played okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not even close to how hard he's played. You talk about tough running. This is a guy that when he gets hit, he just does not go down. The last 2 weeks, over 350 yards. He's unbelievable. And then you look at Casey Clausen. He's a freshman. If he had a couple more games, he'd be considered for all SEC. Outstanding. I mean, this guy has got all the mechanics. Comparing to Peyton Manning, justified.
Yeah, I think so. And this Tennessee defense has helped their offense as well. This Tennessee defense might be playing as well as anybody in the country. And while we're on the subject of defenses, I think that's where you have to start with Vanderbilt in terms of slowing down Tennessee. It's an experienced group, but they're going to have to play perhaps their best game of the season.
Well, if they play well, it's going to be because of 2 players, Jamie Winborn, number 42, and 26, Matt Stewart. You look at the combination of them, over 200 tackles. They're in the backfield all day long, and if they're going to win, they have got to play well today.
Well, if they play well and give the Commodores a chance, the rest will fall on this man's shoulder. Junior quarterback Greg Zolman having a career season. It's the Doors and the Vols. It's next on JP. And welcome back to Adelphia Coliseum in Nashville, Tennessee for the 95th renewal of the Vanderbilt-Tennessee football clash. But this series certainly has gone to the Vols, 62, 26, and 5 overall. But the Vols have won 17 straight. It has been a rainy couple of days, and for more on the conditions, let's go down to the sidelines and a third member of our team, Charles Davis. Charles, what's it like down there?
Thanks a lot, Dave. We are in a pro stadium, so you think you'd have a top-quality field? We don't. As a former defensive back, change of direction, that is everything for you. You're reacting as a defensive player. On a good field, when you change direction, your foot, you can use your whole foot right here, the front of your foot, the ball of your foot, to change direction. On a bad field, you need the instep. That's what guys are going to have to do today. Advantage, offense for both sides. I can't believe how bad this field is, guys. The weather today, 51 degrees. 50% chance of rain. There's a little bit of wind out here, about 10 miles per hour. We'll see how that affects both teams. Take it away, fellas.
Charles, don't get hurt down there. Here come the Commodores. They're raring to go. Vanderbilt, there's 3-7, 1-6 in league play, but this is kind of those games, Dave, where it can make your season.
Well, it surely can, Dave. I want to just say that Charles brought up the field conditions, and boy, that's rightfully so. Fortunately, they had the field covered all night. Had this been underneath that rain, it would have been a quagmire.
There are quite a few Vanderbilt fans here, but ultimately in the 65,000-seat gym, there are a lot of orange shirts and orange ponchos and orange sweaters. But Woody Woodenhofer says it doesn't matter. He just wants to play this football game. As the head coach of the Commodores, he's 13-30 in his 8th year. Overall, as a head coach, he's 25-61-1. Of course, he had a stint at Missouri as well.
And Dave, you know what Woody Woodenhofer loves best? This is an opportunity, and that's what great players love. They just love to have an opportunity. For Philip Fulmer, he knows the heat is on him. What a record he has had at Tennessee.
Well, he has done a remarkable job here in the 2000 season as the Vols got off to a 2-3 start, but in their last 2 games, they've scored 122 points. They have been dominating. Tennessee won the toss and deferred, so Vandy will receive as you look at Alex Walls, a Luke Rosa finalist. And there is Jimmy Williams to return the kick out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He, along with Ray Perkins, make up a pretty good return tandem. deep for the Commodores. And we're just about set for kickoff. Last year, Tennessee won 38-10. It's Jimmy Williams. Jimmy Williams out to the 30-yard line, so a pretty good return for the Commodores, a return of 24 yards. And that is where Greg Zollman and company will set up shop. Here's their offense. Dan Stricker's the man to keep an eye on. Third in the SEC, nearly 90 yards a game. It's the kind of receiver that can really take over a game. Up front, this group has played quite well this year. As you see, they've only allowed 11 sacks. Keep an eye on Michael Saltzman. He'll be going up against, for the most part, one of the most feared defensive players in the country, and John Henderson. Greg Zollman is your junior quarterback out of Dayton, Ohio. He has 5,221 career yards, third most in Vandy history. First pass dropped. Jimmy Williams was the intended receiver. Here's the Tennessee defense. They are awesome. Lloyd, Henderson, Kendrick, Overstreet. Henderson with those 10 sacks. As a team, that defensive front has 46. Linebackers, they're pretty good. Westmoreland, Stevenson, and Sessions. The secondary, Andre Lott is the man, but keep an eye on Stephen Marsh. He's starting in place of Rashad Baker. We'll have more on Baker's ankle injury a little bit later. Second down and 10. That handoff to Jared McGrath. Will Overstreet on the stop.
Well, really big down here, third down and 9 yards. You don't want to make a mistake. That's what Tennessee has capitalized on so much this season. Their defense giving them great field position. If you can't throw a strike and you can't throw the first down, don't force it in there.
Third downs, Vanderbilt 30% this year. They're looking at a 3rd and 8. Passes dropped by Anthony Jones. Coverage on the play came from Teddy Gaines.
Oh, you got to catch that football. You cannot let that football drop. You've got pressure on the quarterback. Good pressure, a little bit late, but again, look at this. He throws that ball out there, and you've got to catch that. You've got to concentrate. You're on the sideline, perfect. You know you're going to get hit. Got to come down with it.
Eric Parker back to return the punt, averaging about 10 yards per return. And it's a shank kick from Joe Webb.
Oh, wow. Terrible. Oh.
Joe Webb had been pretty consistent, averaging nearly 39 yards a punt this year. But not a good start for the Commodores, as they will give the ball over to Tennessee after the 14-yard punt.
And watch it come off the side of his foot. Just come straight off the side. It is almost, I mean, it barely made a first down with the punt. That is a terrible punt.
Here's Tennessee's backs and receivers. Travis Henry needs just over 100 yards to become the 20th player in the Southeastern Conference with 3,000 career rushing yards. First handoff goes to Henry. Picks up about 5 on the play. Antoine Bradford, the first man on the spot for the Commodores. Up front, this group, young, but getting better every game. Reggie Coleman, Anthony Herrera, Scott Wells has filled in oh so well for Fred Weary at the center spot, and Michael Munoz, of course, the right tackle. But Casey Clausen, the quarterback, the last 2 games.
Oh, can't get any better than that. 9 touchdowns. That touchdown to interception ratio, that's marvelous.
It's Henry again, tries to get to the outside, breaks the tackle, then 2, then 3, taken out of bounds at the 31. Antoine Bradford finally dragged him down after the pickup of 12.
Well, you can't miss tackles, and Jimmy Williams, number 9, the cornerback, is going to miss the tackle. When you bounce him to the outside, you have got to make that tackle right there. You got to get in front of him. He'll push you off. Big blocks up front. They lock up there. Now they're just, it's a foot race to get to the outside. But again, you have to get in front of them. You got to square up.
Clausen's pass misses his target. He was looking for David Martin. Here's how the Vanderbilt defense will look. They play that 3-4 alignment. They'll crowd the line of scrimmage with a couple of their linebackers. But the linebackers are the story. They have to play well. Stewart, Winborn, Bradford Morrow's got a bad hamstring. Didn't practice for 10 days until on Wednesday he returned. Russian Jones and Jimmy Williams, two pretty good corners. Safeties also must play the run well and not get beat deep today.
Absolutely. They've got to come up. They've got to get pressure.
And hope, I think, was the other word.
And hope. Hope is a big one.
Ball's gone.
Clausen unloads over the middle. Jimmy Williams on the coverage. It was intended for Cedric Wilson.
And Dave, you look at trends in a quarterback, especially when he's a freshman. Casey Clausen is not on. The last pass out in the flat wasn't there. That pass, he had his receiver wide open on a cross, and he just overthrew him. So Casey Clausen needs to take a little deep breath, look downfield, find his man, kind of calm down a little bit.
Four wide receivers on a 3rd down and 10 from the Commodore 31. Play clock running out. They just get it off. Pass is caught wide open. It's Eric Parker. Down to the 15, a gain of 16, and boy, Clausen just barely beat the play clock.
Boy, he did. That clock was down to 1 second, but you got to credit that big offensive line. Again, look at the little play fake there, trying to hold the backers. See how he comes off now. Watch him come to the middle of the field. He actually looked off his primary receiver, his secondary, and came back to a 3rd receiver in that little zone slot right there.
Eric Parker, 19 catches this season. Fresh set of downs for the Vols. Flags everywhere. Looks like the left side of the line probably moved for the Volunteers.
Yeah, I think that was Herrera or Coleman on this left side, moved to just a little bit early.
Tennessee, here's our referee.
Snap. Ball starts. It's the offense. Maine's first down.
Jay Vines is our referee. Wilbur Hackett, Guy Morris, Paul Petrisco, Bobby Bernard, Bobby Moreau, Lee Dyer, Tom Ritter is our alternate today.
Well, we were right. Reggie Coleman, number 71, started off just a touch early.
Lately, this Volunteer offense has been unbelievable inside the 20. The only time they didn't score is when the clock ran out against Kentucky. They just kind of took a knee on it. That's in the last 2 games. Before that, they were just 16 of 38 in the red zone in terms of scoring TDs. It's Parker again at the 15. Picked up about 4 on the play.
Well, what you want to do if you're Vanderbilt in this situation, you've got to be thinking, we've got to hold them to a field goal. Don't allow the big pass. Now, what do you do to Casey Clausen? Do you come with pressure, or do you try to sit back? Right now, Vanderbilt's electing to sit back. Just try to get that controlled pressure, play their defense, react to the ball. Perhaps they think they can read Clausen's eyes, but I sure didn't see it in that one series. He came off, as I said, 3 different receivers.
2nd down and 10. Travis Henry has plenty of room on the left side. A punishing hit taken out of bounds inside the 10.
Boy, Will Bartholomew, that fullback, we've talked a lot about him this year, getting the block. Number 45 just comes right in on Winborn. Right there, bang, just locks him up, and look at there. Travis Henry just puts that shoulder down. He makes you pay. Lurch's number 23 came up and said, ooh.
Will Bartholomew out of Nashville, Tennessee. A big game for the junior. Will's been a big role in this offense the last couple of weeks.
Big down here. You can't gamble, though.
A couple of tight ends in the game as the handoff goes to Henry, and he did not go far. Travis Henry stopped by Mike Adam, who stepped right into the hole.
Boy, he did. He was right in the hole, and what he did is he tackled Travis Henry up high. Watch 34 slide into the hole. Bang, he's got him right there. Now don't let him go. See him pulling him back? That's the way you have to stop Travis Henry.
Here we go on 4th down. Tennessee 50% this year, 6 of 12 on 4th down conversions. It's 4th and 1. Henry leaps about 5 yards down to the 2.5, maybe 3, and that'll set up a 1st and goal.
Well, no surprise there. Philip Fulmer goes to what they do best, and that's Travis Henry. Look where he takes off. Right there, he takes off. Comes down. Good night. He comes down about 5 yards. Again, up and over. You've got to get somebody up and over on top of him. You see right there, Winborn 42 was being occupied.
First and goal.
Oh, that's the way you stop them. See, that's the way you stop them. You meet them up high. That's exactly what they need to do on the last down. Bradford that time, 41. There's Winborn, 42. They're saying, hey, you ain't coming over that top again. Again, watch this. Good line search, that equals. Now, when you go up and over, you jump. See their linebackers right in his face? Bradford, 41. Watch him come up right there. Bang. That's the way you stop it.
The 11th play of this drive coming up on second and goal. They go to the outside. Henry to the end zone. Touchdown, Volunteers. Henry's 10th rushing touchdown of the season, and the Vols strike first. They lead it 6-0.
Well, two outstanding blocks. Out on the outside. Right there's one. Bang, you got him on the ground. There's the other one with Matt Stewart. That was outstanding blocking to start that play. Henry just sees that corner of that end zone, and he knows what it looks like.
Here's Alex Walls, who's 70 of 71 in his career in point afters. Travis Henry looking for 3,000 yards in his career. Scores first for the Volunteers. They lead it 7-0. Back after a word from your local stations. Tennessee behind Travis Henry. Scores first. They lead it 7-0. Henry had 7 carries and 31 yards on that drive. But Tennessee has, I would say, been dominating in the first quarter this year. They've now outscored their opposition 124-13 in the first quarter this year. Unbelievable.
That is amazing. That's when you got your offense clicking, your defense, and everything's going well.
Alex Walls has his leg working well. Let's check in with Charles Davis. Charles, what do you got?
Hey, guys, you know, when Tennessee went forward on 4th down on that first possession, there was no hesitation on Philip Fulmer's side. He decided, let's go ahead and get it. He thinks he has a superior team, and I think that he's right. In that situation, you should go for it in that situation, try and jump on Vanderbilt early, and that's what they did, don't you think?
Yes, I certainly do, Charles. I'll tell you, though, you got to credit Joe Webb. That punt was terrible. I mean, they punted out to, what, 14-yard punt. You can't do that.
Well, Vanderbilt had a streak going until their opening drive. They had scored on their first possession, a touchdown on their first possession, 4 straight games. Zolman has a man open. Got to be a flag. Absolutely. Teddy Gaines ran right into Dan Stricker, lost sight of the ball, and Stricker had him beaten badly. And really, Zolman, if he throws a better pass, that's a much bigger gain.
If he throws a better pass, that's a touchdown. Look how wide open he was. Completely fooled the corner. And that was where Vanderbilt felt that they could attack. They felt the corners. Teddy Gaines and Willie Miles, that was where their attack was going to be formulated. And right away, they go after him at the cornerback. But really, Zolman really needed to throw that thing about 40 yards and allow Stricker to run under it.
That'll move the ball to the 35-yard line. Zolman has not had a good game yet against this Volunteer offense. As a matter of fact, he's yet to throw for over 100 yards against them. Zolman under pressure, lofts it up in the air. Vanderbilt had a receiver open. Pressure came from Eric Westmoreland. Dan Stricker was one of the 3 in the area.
Boy, and when Zolman looked up, he had to see Westmoreland coming down his throat because it was just a straight blitz from the corner. I mean, right in his nose.
That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Woody Woodenhofer and his offensive coordinator, Steve Crosby. You know, we talked to a lot of coaches around the league, and they all think he's got a pretty good scheme here at Vanderbilt. They just need to execute, make the plays. Zolman lofts it up in the air. Looking for Anthony Jones, who dropped it right in his hands.
Oh, my goodness. You cannot drop these passes. If you're a Vanderbilt fan, that's the difference between winning and losing. That ball is right in his hands. Watch this. It's just a go. Now watch. He's looking back. Watch where the ball ends up. Oh, mercy. Oh. And look at Zolman. You got to be kidding me.
Anthony Jones has been catching everything in practice, the coaches said, the past 2 weeks. I mean, just one-handed grabs behind his back. Surprised he dropped that one. The blitz is on. Zolman gets it off. What a great catch by Matasic, who picks up the first down. Chris Matasic out of Wisconsin. Doesn't play a whole lot, but they are glad he was in there and picks up 11.
Watch this blitz. You're going to see blitz pressure by Andre Lott, number 30. And how about Zolman throwing the ball? Now watch this catch. This is incredible. Looks like he's got a baseball glove there. Fantastic. He better go over and talk to Anthony Jones and give him a few instructions. Now that's the kind of plays that you have to make when you want to stay in against a great football team like Tennessee.
1st and 10 at their own 46. In motion is Stricker. Little handoff. Nothing doing there. And not a whole lot of teams have been able to run against that Tennessee defense. They're only giving up 76 yards a game on the ground. That's first in the Southeastern Conference, 3rd nationally, and they've only given up 6 touchdowns, and the average per rush 2.4 a game. All those are first in this league.
Oh, that is unbelievable average. I played defensive line a long time, and what you have to do, you can't have one dominant player. You have to have 4 dominant players on that front line to get those kind of statistics.
A loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11 now. Zolman in the shotgun. Pressure coming. Zolman goes down. No fumble. It's the 47th sack. Now ties Tennessee's school record.
Well, Davey has to get rid of the ball. He's standing back there. Look at the pressure there, just rolling him over in the middle. You see Big John Henderson in there, and that's Hainsworth, number 92. They just roll him back. You got to get rid of that ball. You can't allow that to happen. Can't stand back there and eat that ball for a 10, 12-yard loss. Now it brings up 3rd down and about 20. You put a lot of pressure on your receivers when you do this.
Well, that record ties the 97 team that set the record in 12 games. This is number 11. Zolman down again. 48 sacks.
Boy, you got to credit that big line. Did you see the wave? It's just a wave of white shirts coming in there. It's not one defensive player. It's 4 defensive linemen. Watch them all. Inside pressure there. You're going to see him just a thing collapse. And again, that's with no blitz. There's no linebacker. That's John Henderson, number 98. Good little twist in there, Dave.
John Henderson now with 11 sacks on the season. That leads the Southeastern Conference. Joe Webb's 14-yard punt is followed up by a dandy. That sends Parker back to the 30. Parker takes it to the 35, and that is where he is wrestled down. So Vanderbilt picks up a couple of first downs, but can't move it after that. A 48-yard punt, a 9-yard return. Tennessee with their 2nd possession coming. They lead it 7-0. Back after a word from your local station. Coliseum, a magnificent stadium for football, and it's a full house tonight for Tennessee and Vandy. Vols lead it 7-0. Lawson up top has a man just off the fingertips of Dante Stallworth. He's their big play guy. Just missed it, but here's another big play guy in Travis Henry.
Oh, man. Travis Henry on that first drive was incredible. Just eating up yardage. You can't arm tackle him. You've got to get in front of him. And just when you think you got in front of him, watch this. Boom, he rolls over top of you. And then you talk about getting to the corner. Good blocks up front. He finds that corner of the end zone and just dives inside. That's why he is special.
2nd down and 10. Lawson again to the air. Has a man. It's Parker. Steps out of bounds. Harold Lurchus is the man that bumped him out of bounds.
And Dave, in that coverage, you've got to, if you're the safety and you're Harold Lersh's number 23, you've got to get over to it. Your quarterback is expecting help deep. In other words, you see the safety coming over there. He's too late getting over there. The cornerback is playing up close. That's Russian Jones. He's playing up close. He's got the area up in there where the little out is. You've got to have that safety get over into that position, and he did not.
That was a gain of 29. It sets up a 1st and 10 at the Commodore 35.
There's an audible on the line.
Lawson again to the air, over the middle. Tried to thread the needle inside double coverage. Jamie Winborn was there.
Boy, and Jamie Winborn just trying to get deep middle. Watch 42. Recognize the play. All right, it's a pass. Now, get back. Look at your crossing patterns, and look, he just gets back in there. Just tries to get in the corner, into the position, that slide position into the seam. He does a good job.
Jamie Winborn this season, 93 tackles, 3 sacks. Remember, he did not play in the first 2 games. He's your returning tackle leader the past 2 seasons in the Southeastern Conference. Had 141 a year ago.
Here comes the blitz.
Pressure coming. Morrow gets a hit, pass away, flag down.
Oh, boy.
And that'll get the Tennessee fans on their feet, but the Vanderbilt fans don't like it.
Well, you know what? The ball was overthrown. He wasn't going to catch the ball.
And that may be what they're discussing.
That ball was overthrown. He was not going to catch the football.
It'll be a flag against the Commodores.
Casey Clausen saw the blitz, came in right in his face, and he overthrew it. And that was Nate.
15 yards from the line spot.
Well, let me say, Nate Morrow, number 40, right there. Now watch the ball. See how far the ball's way overthrown. He's not going to catch that football. You can see it again there. He doesn't have a chance to catch that football. It's way overthrown. Russian Jones, the guilty person on the play. That hurts. But for Tennessee, it keeps the drive alive. They move the chains. They got first down. Go back to number 20.
Henry gets a couple on the play. Get a look at that field down there. It is it's green, but that doesn't mean there's grass on it.
No, it's green from paint. The interesting thing, and Charles mentioned it, it's got no turf on it. I mean, basically, it's just like a rug. You almost think you want to wear AstroTurf shoes, except that you got to dig in. It's just dirt.
You see Travis Henry's arms carrying some of that dirt.
And look at all that green paint.
Henry, by the way, now 72 yards shy of 3,000. Henry inside the 10, down to the 7. A gain of 11. He's now 61 shy of 3,000.
Boy, and I love the blitz. I just love I love that burst, I should say. Herrera gets a great block on Bradford up front. Number 75 is going to lock up on him. Bang. He's got him right on the line of scrimmage. Now watch what Travis Henry does. When he gets through that line, those little stutter feet, they just kind of keep on dancing around. Boy, yeah, I'll tell you one thing. He's got a great career ahead of him in the NFL.
First and goal from the 7. Henry loses the football, but he falls right back on it. Oh, my gosh. Nate Morrow had his hands on it and let it get away.
Unbelievable.
You're not going to get breaks like that.
No, that is amazing. The ball was in Nate Morrow's hands. Watch him, number 40. To toss out there, the ball's up. Now look, Nate Morrow's got it, right there. But the ball falls out. Look at Travis. Wow. Watch this. He's got the ball right there in his hands. Now he's got it, right? But look at Travis Henry. Heads up play. Never quit on the play.
That is your worst nightmare for Nate Morrow.
Oh, he had it.
Inches. A loss of 5. That'll bring up 2nd down and 13.
Well, you got to be thinking field goal in here. See if Vanderbilt doesn't change and bring a little bit of pressure. They can't allow Clausen to stand back there. He's just standing back there throwing.
Just got it off. Clausen to the air. And a flag down. And Jimmy Williams is hot about it. It was Steve Rock on the coverage on Eric Parker. I don't know. I'd like to see that again. That looked pretty close.
Well, I thought Rock was going for the football. Number 49, he's allowed to go for the ball. You can't play through the man, but they're going to call defensive interference. He went through the receiver. But watch 49 react to the ball. Just to the top of your screen. Watch him here. Is he coming up for the ball? Wow, that is close. That is close. I mean, if you're Vanderbilt, you're saying it's close. If you're Philip Fulmer, you're saying good call. Now you go back to the cheese again. Travis Henry time.
See what Tennessee has done the past 2 games. 61 points a game. Now they're first and goal at the 3. The last time they were here, they ran it wide to the right with Travis Henry. Off tackle, Henry into the end zone. Touchdown, his 11th of the season, his 2nd this afternoon.
Well, when you get those mistakes, you've got to capitalize on them, especially if you're the underdog. This is just vintage Travis Henry. Look at him just find that seam, gets a couple good blocks up front. Big lineman getting the push.
Point after. Up and good. The Tennessee Volunteers behind 2 Henry touchdowns, lead at 14-0. We'll be back after this message from Advance Auto Parts. Tennessee leads at 14-0 over Vanderbilt. They will kick off here in the first quarter with 3:45 to go. And Jimmy Williams will take a knee in the end zone. And, well, the story so far is total yards. Tennessee with 91, Vanderbilt with 7. Let's go down to Charles Davis. Charles?
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. We talked with Coach Woody Woodenhofer, and he talked about guys needing to know about the tradition of this game. You have a lot of guys who aren't from Tennessee on the Vanderbilt roster. They need to know more about it. To that end, he brought in about 50 former Vanderbilt players to talk to the team this week. 2 of the prominent guys, Whit Taylor, the all-time career total offense leader for Vandy, and Norman Jordan, their running back who does the sidelines now. They told him what this rivalry was all about this week.
Well, it's a rivalry, Charles, when you have winning on both sides. This hasn't been a rivalry.
Ray Perkins chopped down by Dominique Stevenson.
But you know, Dave, it is an interesting thing when you bring back older players and you talk about how exciting it is to play against somebody like a Tennessee.
And Dave, you talked about it needs to be a rivalry when both teams are competing. Woody Woodenhofer made that point, remember? He said we have to do our part to turn it into a rivalry again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Whoa, boy, looky there. Rushing yards, non-existent.
Zolman gets whacked as he lets it go, but finds Stricker, who nearly broke out of it, down to midfield. But Zolman took a pop, a gain of 32 for the Commodores.
Well, you start talking about big players make big plays, and boy, has Dan Stricker made some great plays for Vanderbilt this season. He's had 54 catches coming into this game. Nothing better than that. Watch this. Bam. The quarterback doesn't get to see it, but look at Stricker. When it touches him, he's got it. He knows he's going to get hit.
There is Crosby. We thought that he could probably throw the football somewhat successfully against this secondary at Tennessee. Of course, Rashad Baker, the true freshman, who has been playing so well at safety, out with a high ankle sprain. Don't know if he'll even be back by the bowl game. I don't know if running between the tackles is going to work very well today.
No, that doesn't work at all. That's like running between 2 dump trucks. They're big and wide. Will Overstreet on that one. But, you know, really, when you look at the tempo of a game, and I know Charles has seen this many, many times, you've got to take the pressure off your defense. Your defense is just, they're playing their heart out. Your offense has got to move the chains. They've got to, I mean, that's why this drive is so important. You want to stay with Tennessee? You got to score. Take that pressure off the defense. For Tennessee, they got to pour it on. Just keep on coming. The big boys up front, they do a great job.
Zolman with the sixth best passing season in Vandy history calls a timeout as a play clock was running down and he saw a blitz a-coming. So Vanderbilt will take a timeout with a $1:44 to go in the first quarter. This team has seen a maturation process with each and every close football game. They're 2-2 in those close football games. But certainly those are games that, you look at two games that they could have won. Made a valiant effort against LSU. LSU really was dominating that football game. I think Tennessee lucky they got back in it. That might have been the only game that they didn't play, well in.
Exactly right. I tell you right now, Phil Fulmer would love to go back and play with this team against those opponents.
Zolman on second down, lofts it up, looking for his tight end, Elliott Carson. Pass knocked down. Andre Lott on the coverage. Elliott Carson broke out with a great game in the opener against Miami of Ohio when he had 116 yards receiving, but since then, relatively quiet.
Well, he's left at the top of your screen. Watch Andre Lott get the hand in it. Now, Carson almost comes up with this at the end right there. Look, he pulls the ball, almost comes down with that football. That was close.
Once again, if Zolman gets it out there a little bit more, you got a chance for Carson.
Exactly. He's a big receiver at 6'6". You want to use that height.
The wind is in Vanderbilt's face. Zolman 2 of 7, 42 yards to throw again. No flag on the play.
Boy, and another blitz right in Zolman's face. Andre Lott, number 30, comes right up his nose. Watch 30 on this dart. Nobody, just comes right up through the middle. Boom.
Looking for M.J. Garrett. Zolman's taken some whacks today.
Yes, he has. Oh, boy, that's early, too. Look at that. 9 hurries, 6 knockdowns, 2 sacks. You think that Tennessee line doesn't come after you?
Parker didn't call for the fair catch at the 15. He gets hit. Fumbles the football. They roll him down at the 13-yard line.
And there's another one of those breaks that you talk about. Listen to these fans. The Vandy fans thought they had scored 7.
Steve Rock with the hit. It was a 33-yard punt.
Now, I truly think his forward progress was stopped. And then they ripped the ball out.
And Philip Fulmer wants the 5-yard rule invoked.
Yeah, he wanted that with the halo, they call it, where you have to give him the couple of yards to catch it.
Well, he gave about 5 inches.
You see, the ball's out there. Got to give him 2 yards, that halo, 2 yards around him.
Travis Stevens in the game. His first carry takes it close to the 20-yard line. The final score in Athens. Tough loss for the Georgia Bulldogs. They go down 27-15, but Georgia Tech playing extremely well. Boston College sunk by a field goal in the first. Notre Dame and Southern Cal, they're also just underway, tied at 7. What a tough year it has been for USC. Oklahoma leading Oklahoma State, the #1 team in the country, trying to maintain their spot in the BCS. Who will they play for the national championship? Stevens again, nothing happening there as he gets stopped at the 20-yard line by Antoine Bradford and Matt Stewart, who team up for the tackle.
Well, I was watching Jamie Winborn, number 42, out there. I really like the way he plays. He's standing right there. Now watch him step up right here. He gets blocked out of the play, but he comes right back in. Watch this. You don't quit. You keep on driving, and look at that enthusiasm he has. He just loves to play the game.
Well, big down for Vanderbilt. They could probably get some good field position if they could stop him here at 3rd down and 5. Tennessee 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions. And the quarter will come to an end, so we will wait a moment to see what happens on 3rd down and 5. So far, a couple of Travis Henry touchdowns have put Tennessee in the lead by 14. The Vols have won 17 straight in this series. Just about set for second quarter football from Adelphia Coliseum in Nashville. Dave Neal, Dave Rowe, Charles Davis, our JP finale in 2000. 3rd down and 5 for the Volunteers, and they're all white uniforms. Casey Clausen rolling out under pressure, unloads. 1st down, Tennessee.
Ooh, that's close. He had to make about the 27-yard line. He didn't make much more.
I think he got right on it.
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
Cedric Wilson with the reception. Jimmy Williams runs him out of bounds. Here's a look at our Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse first quarter stats.
Ouch. That one right there will get you minus 19 yards rushing. You give up on that. You got to throw the football. If Vanderbilt's going to stay in this game, they're going to stay in it on the arm of Greg Zolman.
You see those rushing yards. This Tennessee defense has held every opponent except LSU below their rushing average coming into that football game.
Absolutely. And you know that Vanderbilt has really done a pretty good job on Travis Henry.
On 1st and 10, pass is complete to Eric Locke. Russian Jones runs him out of bounds. Eric Locke been kind of the mystery man of the season, but with a big catch there and a first down. His 7th reception of the season for the former Alabama transfer. The temperature's right around 50 degrees, and actually the skies have cleared up. I mean, this is amazing when you consider what the weather was like before game time today.
Yeah, you in shirt sleeves this week. That's amazing, too.
All right, so I was bundled a little bit last week.
You looked like Nanook up the north. I can't believe it.
I was cold. Clausen goes up top. Throws it out of bounds. Pass incomplete. Martin pushing all over Jimmy Williams.
That's what I thought. I thought that Martin pushed off on that play because I saw Jimmy Williams stumble a little bit. Let's watch the tail end of this and see if 87 doesn't push. Jimmy Williams got, well, there's a little push. You see there's another push right in there.
Yeah, just let them play. They're football players, Dave. Let it go.
I like it. I like it. That's my game. That's right. You know that. No harm, no foul.
Casey today, 5 of 10, 67 yards. He's completed 60%, at least 60% of his passes in 4 of his 5 starts this year.
Here comes the blitz.
Travis Stevens. Tackle by Winborn.
And sometimes you can blitz and control the run with that blitz, and that's what Vanderbilt's trying to do a little bit of. Get that blitz where you get havoc in the pocket. Back in there where the running lanes are, just create a little bit of turmoil. There's Mr. Turmoil. Jamie Winborn. Now you got to put that pad inside. That's one of the shoulder pads there. Funny the official doesn't come over and tell him that.
Well, probably scared to.
Well, that's a dangerous thing that can cut somebody. It's a thin piece of hard plastic. Here comes another blitz.
3rd down and 8. Check it off.
Yeah, now they check off.
Little corner blitz. Clausen sees it. They find the seam, and he hits Eric Parker. It's close to the 40. They'll stop him at the 41-yard line. A pickup of 18. He just checks off into the right play.
He certainly did. You know, I watched Winborn across the way. He got in a little altercation. But look at this. Give him a little bit of pressure, There's late pressure, but just throws a strike right inside that seam. Now square up, find out how many yards you can get. And watch Jamie Winborn. He's all the way across. Now watch this. The altercation goes a little bit. Now watch, he's going to get a block back. Oh, you don't want to cut him down there. Man, that's in trouble there if you're Dante Stallworth.
Here's Travis Stevens. Down to the 36-yard line. Jimmy Williams on the tackle. A gain of 5 for Travis Stevens. Travis had an 80-yard touchdown run last week against Kentucky. Just busted it right up the middle.
Well, Dave, if you're Philip Fulmer and you're Woody Woodenhofer, you're looking at this game to see who's playing tough. There's one guy who's playing tough. That's the running backs. How's that average? 4.6 yards. That ain't bad. Of course, you got to get up into 5 yards or plus category to get with Travis Henry.
Travis 5.1 average.
Oh, here comes another blitz.
Misread between the quarterback and the receiver, Cedric Wilson. Clausen toward the sideline. Meanwhile, Wilson looking to the inside.
And you know what's interesting watching Casey Clausen? This is not his day. Here's the blitz. You see there's Jamie Winborn. The safety's going to come up in there late. But Casey Clausen is not having a great day. He's not having one of those days where everything is just ticking. And it's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts to that. He's just a freshman. They're talking about the learning process. He's 5-0. He's had everything going his way. Now we'll see the maturity of a quarterback when things aren't going your way, when you don't complete those passes.
2 for 2 on 3rd downs this drive.
Yeah, there's another one. That's not even close.
Jimmy Williams on the coverage. That'll bring up 4th down. And they're in that iffy zone. And I think they might just go for it here.
Well, Randy Sanders, the offensive coordinator, he likes the mechanics of Casey Clausen. He says, he's got everything that I like in a quarterback.
Tennessee takes a timeout. Philip Fulmer and company will think about it. 4th down coming up. Will punt it away. Actually, Leverton's been great. He's a Ray Guy Award finalist, and 30% of the opponent's drives have started inside the 20.
Now, where was the 2-yard circle there? That was pretty close.
Well, fans, log on to jpsports.com and check out our new fan shop. We have a great selection of merchandise from every school. The best news is you pay no shipping charges for your order. Also, all customers receive a free gift with their first order of $25 or more. Get a head start on your Christmas shopping and visit our fan shop today or tomorrow or the next day. Total plays. Tennessee has dominated this game in terms of yards and time of possession. 1st and 10. Jared McGrath. Not much happening there.
You know, I like him even when he doesn't make many yards. I just like the running of Jared McGrath. He runs tough. He's in there. He doesn't get a whole lot of blocking. I mean, look at that. Just put that shoulder down. Great, just a great kid to talk to.
McGrath over 2,000 career yards rushing, 6th all-time at Vanderbilt. As a personal foul will go against the Tennessee Volunteers, and certainly every yard Vanderbilt will take it. I don't think they care how they get it. They
I didn't see the personal foul. Maybe they'll explain what it is.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Late hit. Against
late hit.
15 yards to the end of the run.
Can't do that. I guess you can. You just can't get caught.
That's exactly right. Interesting. You see Casey Clausen there. He's on the phone talking with Randy Sanders, the offensive coordinator. And I'm sure he's saying, you know, things aren't going well for me. And Randy Sanders telling him, just calm down, get back in your flow. But it hasn't been a great half of football for Casey Clausen.
Ball moved to the 34. Fresh set of downs. McGrath spins. Only a yard.
Boy, at the point of attack, there's nothing. There's just a wall of white jerseys. You see him getting up in there. There's just the big guys in there.
Dave, I hate to keep throwing all these defensive stats out for Tennessee, but this is one that really grabbed my attention in doing a little research. 43% of the time, this Tennessee defense has forced the opponents to a 3-and-out situation.
Oh, it's fantastic. And it's because they're never able to get in that 2nd down and short. Look at that. Rushing a yards loud. Today, they haven't even made it back to the line of scrimmage. Like I said, if they're going to win or stay in this game, they've got to have somebody like Zolman's arm.
Well, you can subtract another 10 or so yards as Anthony Sessions just plants Zolman right on his back, and I think the wind might have been knocked out. Actually, is looking at his wrist right now for Greg Zolman. You got to keep an eye on him.
Well, Sessions is on the right over here. Watch him. He's just going to come barreling right in. There's nowhere to go. You see him? When they went in motion, that motion went against Sessions. Sessions just turned to look at him, just beat in there. He's got nobody to cover over there. Now, Zolman was hopefully going to dump to his running back, but he didn't have a chance. Sessions, boy, with that great speed.
9.5 sacks in 2000 for Anthony Sessions, the senior out of Warner Robins, Georgia. Play clock down to 0. They didn't get it off.
Compounds the problems. I'll tell you what I would do in this situation. I'd talk to Anthony Jones. I'd bring him in the huddle, and I'd say, listen, I'm going to go to you, and you better catch it, because you've dropped 2 of them on me. If I was Greg Zolman.
Prior to snap, delay of game, gets the offense. 5 yards, remains 3rd down.
That'll bring up.
Yeah, there's Anthony Jones. Now, what you do is you say, listen, you've got the speed. Now, you make sure, if I throw it to you, you better catch it. And sometimes receivers will do that, Dave. They'll get into a mode where they just want to make up for a bad play. He's got one-on-one coverage out here.
3rd and 23. Zolman looking for Jones. Overthrows him.
Zolman's pass intended for Anthony Jones, incomplete.
Yeah, he went to him. But good coverage. You got to credit the coverage. Willie Miles on the coverage. Nice coverage. Got kept his cushion. Looked back at the quarterback. Played the eyes of the quarterbacks. But again, that young man's got to catch the football. He's got great speed. They really like him. Just a sophomore. The last 2 weeks, he's been outstanding.
Fourth and 23. Joe Webb will punt it away.
Ooh, he got a boomer.
Boy, he sends Eric Parker way back to the 24. Parker dodges a couple of folks and tries to get outside and run out of bounds at the 35. A 55-yard kick by Joe Webb. Matt Stewart ran him out of bounds. A 17-yard return. Vols lead it by 14. Back after a word from your local stations. Tennessee 14. Vanderbilt nothing in the 2000 SEC regular season finale. Glad we could bring it to you here on Jefferson Pilot Sports. First and 10 for the Vols. At the 35-yard line. Met in the hole, losing a couple is Travis Henry. Big play for Matt Stewart. He's had all of them pretty much all season long.
Boy, that doesn't happen very often. Matt Stewart just comes unblocked. Watch him right there, 26. Now he just squares up. This is a good tackle. They talk about him playing at the next level. That's why he can play at the next level. He doesn't miss tackles, wraps them up. He's got all the just all the abilities.
Well, Charles, Matt Stewart, as we look at the numbers, has been sensational this year.
Really has. He comes into the game with 101 tackles, 11.5 tackles for loss, and 6.5 sacks, and really has a knack for knowing where the ball's going.
And Matt Stewart in on that tackle, but Winborn actually hit him first. Matt Stewart finally wrestles him to the ground, but a tough 3 yards for Travis Henry.
And you know what else he does, which is interesting, is he's the long snapper. And I can tell you in the NFL, that is a real plus.
That may get him locked up on an NFL team.
Oh,
yeah, his numbers are great.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, yeah, he can play linebacker, but that long snap on punts.
Last week, he had a fumble recovery and an interception, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, against Kentucky that basically saved the victory. Big game, big-time player. 3 wide receivers on 3rd down and 8. Play clock coming down and a flag.
Now, when a flag's thrown like this, I was thinking substitution. Play clock was not all the way down. Well, we'll wait and find out.
That's why we have officials.
That's
Dave.
right. And that's why they have a mic.
And here's Jay Vines. And here's Jay Vines.
One more time. Come on, Jay.
And here.
Prior to the snap. False start against the offense. 5 yards. Remains 3rd down.
Here is the SEC officials on hand today. Jay Vines, Wilbur Hackett, Gus Morris, Bobby Bernard, Paul Patrisco, Bobby Monroe, and Lee Dyer. And Bobby Gaston, director and supervisor of SEC officials, also on hand today.
How come he didn't come by and see us? Bobby Gaston always comes by and sees us.
We'll see him at halftime.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's critiquing right now.
Ooh, I like it.
3rd and 13.
Now you got to get pressure if you're Vanderbilt. If you're Casey Clausen, find somebody open.
Pass is caught, but not nearly enough for a 1st down. They didn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. Eric Parker on the reception. Jimmy Williams with his 5th stop of the day. 5 catches for Parker, 74 yards, but not enough for the 1st down. And Jimmy Williams will head back to return the Tennessee punt, their 2nd of the afternoon. First punt traveled 20 yards. But, of course, he was punting from about his own 45.
Well, Jimmy Williams can make it exciting. I'll tell you this, when he gets the football, he can break one anytime.
He's got 4.4 speed, and he'll have a chance to return this. Takes it at the 25. Up across the 35 to the 36. Will Bartholomew on the stop. So decent field position for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Greg Zolman trying to get this Vandy offense cranked up. Back in a moment.
The 2nd quarter, Greg Zolman, the quarterback for Vanderbilt, hurt his right wrist, but he will go ahead and play and continue on for Vanderbilt.
Thank you, Charles. 1st and 10, trying to run off guard. Ray Perkins, the freshman, hit by Anthony Sessions. Perkins, a true freshman.
And I want to tell you, Sessions has been all over the place. He is just marvelous playing that backside linebacker. When he sees it's the weak side, I mean, he is flat out coming.
Oops. Tennessee with just 18 total yards. And really, Tennessee has been slowed down somewhat compared to the way they were going the last few weeks with only 148 to this point. Zolman nearly picked off. Andre Lott, I think, was shocked at how that hit him in the numbers.
Andre Lott just makes a great break on the play, but watch Zolman on the tail end of it. He throws the ball and watch this. Boom, down he goes. He's got the big guys in his face. Look at that. Lott had that one.
Looking for Lou Thomas over there, but Lott cut right in front of him. There's a former cornerback that played some free safety, and they moved him to strong safety in the third game, and it's really solidified this Tennessee secondary. 13 hurries and 10 knockdowns. 2 of 10 is Zolman. Hits Perkins. Perkins is well shy of the first down. He gets it to the 40. Anthony Sessions once again on the stop. And here comes the Commodore punt team. And yet another 3 and out for the Volunteer defense.
Dave, I can tell you, as a quarterback that has to move around as much as Zolman has and has been knocked down as many times as Zolman, is not looking downfield. You have a tendency to take your eyes off of downfield, your wide receiver, just to see where the pressure's coming. And Zolman has been knocked down probably 10 times today. You just can't blame him for taking his eyes off his receivers.
End over end punt. Eric Parker. Oh, nice stutter step. Parker trying to get outside. Picks up a block. Flag down. Parker out of bounds at the 46-yard line, but a flag is down. And Parker looks like he's twisted an ankle. 20-yard or 26-yard return after a 40-yard kick, but we'll wait for the penalty.
Well, it was thrown on the return, so it's most likely, you know, holding. Something like that. How's that? Pretty good. Hey, how you like that? I was going to say the hand in the back. Now, come on.
Parker looks like he might have pulled a little hamstring, and
there's where I think the holding. Don't really see it. I don't really see it.
But, Parker trying to walk it off, and they'll move it back to the Volunteer 27-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vols.
Well, you get the feeling that Vanderbilt needs a break. Tennessee is in the control of this football game. They've been able to control it on the ground. Clausen not having the great day that he's had the last 2 weeks. But again, Travis Henry time, perhaps.
Look at Ryan Alds.
Man. Now, was he offsides? Holy cow, if he wasn't, he knocked the center and the quarterback down. It's 98 right in the middle. I believe that's Scott Wells saying, wow.
Offsides against the defense. 5 yards.
Yeah, if you're going to go offsides as a defense player, you might as well just go all the way offsides. But Ryan Alds has played good football for them. Solid in the middle. Woody Woodenhofer speaks highly of him.
Tennessee, the least penalized team in the SEC coming into this game. They'd only been penalized 55 times in 10 games. Ryan Alds in the middle, 41 career starts, most of anybody on the team. The senior had 11 on Tennessee, playing in his final game for the Commodores. Clausen nearly picked off, flag down in the middle. Doyle Crosby had his hands on it.
Oh, Crosby had this football. They were trying to dump out to the back, and he just had his hands on it. But the flag is going to be thrown on the center. I think it may be Scott Wells holding that time, and it might have been on Alds. But Crosby had, he had a lineman's dream. Watch him on the right of your screen, right over here. Oh.
And Dave, if in the middle of that screen, in the middle of that play, we take one more look at Crosby's. Well, that's why he plays D-line. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, hit him in a bad place, the hands.
But I noticed right in the middle, it was Scott Wells who ripped Ryan Alds.
Against the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
But remember, 2 plays ago, Alds just blew up Wells.
Exactly.
Jumped the gun, and then Scott Wells grabbed him on that play and just whipped Ryan Alds right to the ground. I think there might have been a little message there. We'll keep an eye on those guys right over the ball. The big men.
Oh, I remember that spot. That's where I used to play. I loved it. That's get even time.
And it's Alt who gets a pop on Clausen, but not before he delivers the pass to Cedric Wilson, who gets popped out of bounds by the biggest hitter maybe in the conference, Jamie Winborn. And then talks a little bit on the way back to the huddle. Jamie, one of the most fierce competitors in the country.
I love talking with him in preseason when we had the SEC days. He just said, man, he said, I don't want to come off as a bad guy, but man, I just love to hit. I love to run. I love to get on piles.
As he likes to say, he loves to truck people.
Yeah, exactly. He said,
I love trucking them.
Yeah, trucking them. That's where you leave the license plate number on their helmet.
Whoa!
Free 5 yards. Heads up play there. Now that's maturity. When your quarterback takes a hard count, takes that freeze, and draws the defense off sides when they're going to have a blitz, and you get free 5 yards. Offsides on the defense. And that's just good coaching. See, that's a freeze play. You hard count. See, the center immediately sees it. Bang, just snaps the football.
See Bernard Gooden there. Look at the size of that gut on Bernard Gooden, Dave. 6'3", 320 pounds. That is a big, big boy, the senior from Bradenton, Florida.
Yeah, but you got to realize, as an offensive lineman, that's really an asset. Low center of gravity.
I can't see that ever being
I swear.
an asset.
Look at the NFL. They're all in the 330, 340 range.
Bernard has stepped up and helped this young Tennessee offensive line here in his final campaign. Travis Henry keeps his legs moving, but he's not going to get past that man. That would work on a couple of guys in this league, but not Jamie Winborn, who now has 5 stops this afternoon.
Boy, that was close. They had to make about a foot for the first down. I don't know if they made it.
They got it.
Oh, they did mark it. They did give it to him. It was close. Look at Jamie Winborn. And see what he does, too? When he tackles, he doesn't just do it stiff-legged. He drives those feet. He just kind of runs through them. It's a sign of a great tackler. Good tacklers bring you down. Great ones run through you and don't allow you to fall forward.
Kentucky could use a few of those.
Absolutely.
Tennessee by 2 touchdowns as the clock approaches 5 minutes. Right through the hands of Cedric Wilson. You don't see that very often from Cedric, with 57 receptions this season. And Clausen just doesn't seem like he's in much of a rhythm right now. And I think that might have something to do, Dave, with the fact that Travis Henry hadn't gotten loose yet.
Exactly. The run oftentimes sets up the pass. And Travis Henry has not broken those big ones when Clausen can stand back there. But it just has not materialized so far. Clausen, what, 8 of 16 for only 101 yards? That's not his typical first half. Not that we've seen the last few weeks.
Especially when you consider that he's completed 68% of his passes over the last 2 games.
Oh, no pressure.
Over the middle. Picked off. Russian Jones with the interception, and how about that? That was a nice throw by Clausen, but a better defensive play from Russian Jones, his first INT of the season.
Boy, and he played the ball well. Left of your screen, way back in the middle, and watch him come to the football. He comes right there to get the football, just concentrates and looks it in. Ball intended for Martin, and look at this. Steps in front of him, playing the ball all the way, and takes it away.
That is a tremendous interception.
Wow. Boy, now that's the kind of thing that will turn a football team around. You're just before halftime. You got a little bit over 4.5 minutes to go. If your offense can come up with score.
Stricker in motion, a little handoff to the receiver, cuts it upfield. Stricker across midfield into Tennessee territory, down to the 46 of the Vols. A gain of 19 yards, and the Vanderbilt Commodores trying to get something going with 4:42 to go before halftime.
I thought Stricker was going to get killed right there. When he came around, there was a defensive end standing right in his face, and he just cuts inside, just darts inside of him to pick up the big yardage.
Nice play call by Steve Crosby. Had to mix it up and did so. First time Vanderbilt has been inside Tennessee territory this afternoon. Zolman gets the pass off to his tight end, Elliott Carson. Elliott, 6'6", 250-pound senior out of Lebanon, Tennessee. been battling injuries, bad back, shoulder, neck, and coaches, you know, really concerned about just how much he could go. He's one of these guys that if you get a really good lick on him, he might not be able to return for the game, but they'll take every play they can because he is a dynamite tight end.
Well, he takes pressure off of Stricker. You've got to double guard him. You've got to have two backs kind of edge towards him because he's such a big target out there. But that time I look back at Stricker, and Stricker was open in the middle again. See if they don't go to him.
Dime package for the ball. Zolman rolls out, has time, pass caught, complete. A couple of yards shy of the first down. It goes to the freshman Chris Young, who took a hit the ground hard with his knee, and it looks like he might be hobbling. Yeah, he went down low to get the football. Looked like he just jammed that knee right in the turf.
Yeah, when he turned, he kind of caught it kind of awkward. Crossing pattern, trying to help out his quarterback. You see Stricker going out there, takes the coverage. And watch this, when he catches the ball right there, you see the way his leg kind of got caught up underneath him? Again, right there, you see how that hurts.
Third down.
Well, obviously, he headed over to the bench. Third down and a couple. Vandy 1 for 6 today on third down opportunities.
Well, they haven't been able to run, so they better pass.
Zolman throws behind his tight end Carson. What are they going to do here?
I think you go for it again. If it was me, I'm Woody Woodenhofer. It's the last game of the year. You're playing a tremendous team like Tennessee. Why not just go for it?
And Woody will. Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, hey.
You're here to win a football game. Go for it.
Not here to look good.
And that'll get the Vandy fans on their feet, especially if they make it.
Well, they love the spirit. Now, you have not been able to run the football. What do? I think you look for Stricker or maybe Carson on that little tight end turn just over the line. Let him get the first down yardage.
First down, Commodores. They hit Stricker. A pickup of 13. Stephen Marsh on the stop.
And let me tell you, when you're a quarterback like Zolman or any quarterback, Casey Clausen, I don't care who it is, you go to who's producing for you, and Stricker is the man. Never did Zolman he never took his eyes off of Dan Stricker. And actually, Tennessee gave him a pretty good cushion that time. Gave him a little bit more room than what you would expect.
44 yards on a pair of catches for Stricker. New set of downs for the Doors. Pressure coming. Zolman unloads. Looking for Anthony Jones. Flag down at the 1-yard line.
Well, credit Anthony Jones. This is the best pattern that he's run. He's running against Willie Miles, number 3. And when he darted inside, he looked like he was going somewhere. I saw him the play before, one of the plays before, he quit on the pass, but this time he's going to make something happen. And he goes for the football. Had not Miles got his arm around him, you see that left arm around him? Had he not had that arm around him, that was a completion to Anthony Jones. So evidently Anthony Jones has stepped up his play a little bit.
15 yards from the previous spot.
That's a first down. Charles, what do you got?
I can't believe I'm going to say this because as an ex-defensive back, you never like that call, but it was a good one. The left arm was draped around the receiver. Good call by the official.
Charles, I can't believe a lot of the things you say.
Yeah, I mean, it's stunning, isn't it?
First and 10. To the air. Batted away. Teddy Gaines, the junior, on the coverage of Dan Stricker.
Boy, Stricker, they're going to go to Stricker, and don't think that Tennessee doesn't know this. He's in the slot. He's just going to make a quick dart out. Look at the coverage come right up there. Just play right through the football. That's Teddy Gaines. Now, that time I watched Lou Thomas in the back of his end zone, number 4, and I thought he was open. Zolman needs to come up with a big one.
From the 11. They got to get inside the 1 for a first down. Oh, I think that was read quite well by Eric Westmoreland. That lost a couple.
Boy, Westmoreland, you just can't talk enough about him. Number 2 tackler this year. He's got an interception, 5 sacks, and watch number 42. Just drop back in his coverage now. Just come up. Just make the play. And I'll tell you, when they tackle, they don't let people go by. They just put their hands on them, and they're going down. Big play here. Now, if you're Zolman, the worst thing you want to do is come away with a field goal. Don't try to force it.
8th play of this drive.
Play clock zipping down.
Zolman to the end zone, just out of the reach of Elliott Carson. Andre Lott on the coverage. Pressure came from Overstreet, and that brings up 4th down, and Vandy will send out the field goal unit.
Well, they had Carson. They had him on the drag to the corner. And look at this. He looks off really well. Overstreet gets the pressure on him. You got to credit Zolman on that play. He didn't underthrow it, but look at this. They had him right at the tail end. Just missed. And that was a good throw. I mean, that's a heads-up throw. Now, field goal helps you because you go in with momentum. That's what you want to do. You're down 14-3. If you make it, it's a big one.
Field goal is up and good from 31 yards by John Markham. And Vanderbilt is on the board with 1:56 to go before halftime. A good drive aided by a pass interference call down at the 1-yard line. Tennessee still leads it by 11. John Markham will send it to the goal line where Scott will take it 1 yard deep. He's got some room. Leonard Scott has some room to the 40. A 42-yard return. Ronald Hatcher brings him down.
Boy, Leonard Scott gives you great field position. He's fearless, catches it in the end zone. You don't usually run it out, but when you've got speed like this and moves, you can run it out. And I'll tell you one thing, that was close to going all the way. They were fortunate to stop it.
He just moved up to 4th all-time in kickoff return yardage, chasing Willie Galt. Nice.
Boy, great open field tackle there. Jonathan Schaub. Schaub's the kid that we talked about earlier this year, Dave, who got perfect on his SATs. Never heard about that. A perfect 1600.
$1:20 to go. Here's Henry trying to get outside, but he slipped down.
I thought he was down at 36.
And they're going to mark him at the 36. Loss of 4 for Travis. Travis hadn't had that big half.
No. And then Philip Fulmer, as he looks up at the clock, he knows looking in, he's going to he is going to take in a lead, but he's not going to take in the lead that he expected.
Timeout by Tennessee as the clock's at 52 seconds. Vanderbilt's come out here today and played pretty good. This Tennessee offense has been marching up and down the football field on people, but not today.
No, this stop was a big one. That was on a 3rd down. Jamie Winborn and Bradford in there. They've gotten a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They've come after him right there. You see good defensive coverage right in there. Again, Matt Stewart in there, not allowing Clausen, Travis Henry to get started. This has been a good stretch right here. Again, just stop them at the point of attack. It's not been the half that Tennessee thought that they would come into.
Total yards per quarter will give you an indication of how good the Vanderbilt defense has played in the second 15 minutes, and they've got 52 seconds left to keep the momentum up.
Dave, that was Herb Patera in the center urging his defense on. Philip Fulmer, you can see he's not resting over there. He's got a lot of concern on his face. See, there's Herb Patera. Great guy to talk to, a lot of fun. The barber, he's the barber of the team. Cuts a lot of the coach's hair.
His dad was a barber, and that's that gene pool was sent to him, and that skill is now available if you're a coach at Vanderbilt.
Well, his dad back in Western Pennsylvania watches all the game, loves the games, and he's got a great son. Herb Patera's a wonderful guy.
Play clock down to 1. They get the snap away. Clausen under pressure. Boy, I think Vanderbilt had a read on that play.
Absolutely. That was going to be a screen. Bradford over there. He got the quarterback pressure, made him throw quick.
And that stops the clock. The incomplete pass with 48 seconds left, most importantly.
Well, Vanderbilt's going to get it back. Now, what do you do if you're Vanderbilt? Are you going to be happy going in 14-3? Are you going to try to rush the punter, maybe get a punt block, maybe get a return? They got 10 men up. They're coming after it.
They won't get it. Back to return it is Jimmy Williams, who lets it bounce. At the 27 is where they will take over. Clock runs to 36 seconds. Charles, halftime just 35 seconds away. What's coming up?
Yeah, not far away, guys. Pretty good first half, though. 14-3. It looked like Tennessee was going to sprint out and run away and hide, but Vandy has hung tough. But coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at Auburn's only appearance thus far in the SEC championship game. It came in 1997 when they took on Tennessee. We'll also show you stats and highlights from the first half, along with checking scores from some of the important games from around the nation. So make sure you stay with us.
Thank you, Charles. Your final halftime show coming up. Maybe ever.
Hey, Charles, it didn't rain on you.
Maybe ever. Maybe ever.
No,
Hallelujah.
no.
Swing it out to McGrath. He has some running room. Gets out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. That's a pretty big gain that puts them in an area where they can probably maybe get a pass or two in field goal position. A gain of 17.
Well, you start thinking field goal position. To get a 50-yard field goal, you've got to get to inside the 30-yard line. So good play by McGrath there. That little swing pass there got positive yardage, got out of bounds, stopped the clock. Didn't have to use one of their timeouts. They've got 2 left.
Stricker down to the 36 of Tennessee. Brought down by Tad Golden. 25 seconds on the clock, a pickup of 22.
Boy, nice pass that time by Zolman. Tennessee dropping a little bit into that prevent. Rushing 4 linemen, but everybody dropping back. You can see Stricker he catches everything that's thrown his way.
Vanderbilt takes a timeout. That will leave them 1 remaining.
And Dave, you start talking about John Markham. He made a 52-yard field goal, so that's what, about the 35-yard line. So they're getting close to his territory.
Here are some scores of other NCAA football action going on.
Well, Tennessee already locked up into a bowl after their solid run to 7 wins this season. There are now 9 bowl-eligible teams in the Southeastern Conference since Arkansas knocked off LSU yesterday in a downpour in Little Rock. Don't know if they will go to a bowl, but there's a superior chance that they, I wouldn't say superior, a good chance that they'll go to a bowl, which will send 9 league teams to a bowl. 8 teams will go. Ole Miss grouped in there with a bunch of teams with 7 wins. Florida, of course, heads to the big payday bowl if they can win the SEC championship game and/or Auburn. John Markham, Vanderbilt's career leader in terms of points. That's who they will rely on if they can't stick it in the end zone. Zolman goes up top, looking for Anthony Jones. Did he make the catch? Incomplete, out of bounds.
Boy, it was there. It was there. Look at Zolman. He's got a smile on his face. He knows it was there. It's going down the sideline. Willie Miles, the defender. Watch the ball thrown up high. Great look back into it. Oh, mercy. He had his hands on it. You got to come down with that. Look at this. Might have come down out of bounds, but again, got to catch that.
Those are the catches he's been making in practice the last 2 weeks. As Steve Crosby says why he's in the starting lineup. They've thrown to him quite a bit. Clock ticking. Zolman over the middle. Picked off. Picked off at the 25 by Andre Lott. He'll run it out of bounds, and there goes a scoring opportunity for the Vanderbilt Commodores. A big, big play for the Tennessee defense. It's the first interception for Lott this season, and it's the 9th interception by the Volunteer secondary.
Well, Andre Lott is just playing the quarterback's eyes. Number 30, he's looking at him, zeroed in. Look at Lott, just step right in front of him. Now pick up the blockers, get a couple there. He's got some good blockers there. Westmoreland getting one.
Get out of bounds. Take the momentum back.
Zolman thought he had his man over the middle. Wrong man. He had a man, just wrong man.
Interesting. Tennessee taking a timeout with, what, 5 seconds?
You can't take him with you to the locker room, Dave. Might as well burn him.
Well, what are you going to do with 5 seconds?
They're just trying to get the right personnel out on the field.
I think you're right.
Still, nonetheless, regardless of that, it certainly would have helped Vanderbilt's case, putting at least 3 on the board. That means you're still got a chance with only a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away. But nonetheless, Vanderbilt, with the exception of the past 2 years, have really played well against Tennessee. You go back in time, there were 3 games decided by 7 points or less from 95 to 97. It was 12-7 in 95, 14-7 in 96, and 17-7 in 97. As a matter of fact, this Vanderbilt defense held Peyton Manning to 3 of his 7 worst games in terms of yards passing. In 97, Peyton just went 12 of 27. And some say that it may have cost him the Heisman Trophy in 97, his performance against this Vanderbilt defense.
Well, every time you play a great team, if you're a defensive player, I can tell you this, you love them for an opportunity. And what a crowd today. This has been a marvelous crowd. Look at them all over the place.
Sold out in Adelphia Coliseum. They seat over at Vanderbilt Stadium. They seat about a little over 40,000. So moving over here to the 65,000 seat gym is certainly a wise decision for us. You know, if you're trying to make a few bucks, Vanderbilt certainly did it today. Clausen will go up top. That pass is picked off. Harold Lurchus runs underneath it and picks it off, and that'll do it for the first half. Casey Clausen aired it out and got popped, but Vanderbilt got it going defensively in the second quarter to keep this close. It looked like Tennessee might erupt after 2 quick touchdowns on their first 2 possessions by Travis Henry, who ran them in. But at halftime, it's 14-3. Charles, what do you got?
Hey, Coach, a tough first half. You scored the first 2 possessions, and after that, Vanderbilt seemed to get a little rhythm on defense.
Vanderbilt's got a pretty good defensive football team, and we're helping them some along the way, too. We've lost our execution offensively. Our defense is hanging in there, fighting them. We got to keep them off the field.
Yeah, as you said, the defense is hanging pretty tough. What do you talk about at the half, try to get that execution back offensively?
Just get back to doing things that we know to do. Casey's got to throw it a little bit better, and we got to catch it and execute a little bit better. Got to run the football some, those things.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. We come back, folks. Coach is battling the heck out of them defensively. What do you have to do offensively?
We got to block those guys up front, which are tough to do. They got a great front 7, and we got to block those guys, keep securing the ball on offense, and try to get something going, which we did a little bit in the second quarter.
How was the mood of the team at halftime?
We're wired, we're fired up. We got a chance to win this football game. That's what we're going to try to do, Charles.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Charles. You know, by the way, that every coach in the league is starting to call him Charlie.
I thought it was Danny.
Jamie Winborn getting ready. Philip Fulmer, and we discussed it as we listened to Coach Fulmer head off to the locker room. He was pleasant with Charles Davis, but certainly we knew, and we mentioned it, that he was about to chew somebody out in that locker room at halftime.
Well, that's not typical Travis Henry day. Look at that. 2.9 yard average. And we're talking about a great offensive line, big yardage. See what Tennessee does. They're going to come out and get the football right away. I think you're going to see a much more intent, focused offense. Also with Casey Clausen, much more focused in the second half.
Casey having one of his basically worst games. There's not many games that he's played in. Just his 5-0 as a starter. He's played in more than that, but certainly he just hasn't been on. He has a passing efficiency of 155.89, which is second in the Southeastern Conference, and he's just not on top of it right now.
No, he's not, but it's a learning process, and what you want to do when you really learn is when things aren't going your way, and then you make those adjustments and you see how you come out in the second half.
Leonard Scott, nowhere to go, stopped at the 16-yard line. Jonathan Schaub makes the stop for Vanderbilt. Here comes Casey Clausen, 9 of 20, 99 yards. A pair of interceptions, one right as the halftime clock, or the clock expired right before halftime.
And Dave, I want to say this. Fans don't get the wrong idea. Phil Fulmer didn't go in there screaming and yelling, but he went in there and got their attention and got them intensified on what they were doing wrong.
Yeah, I think they lost focus.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I think that Travis Henry might be a little focused. Look at him just carry defenders out to the 25. Jimmy Williams hanging on for dear life. Gain of 8.
Yeah, Bradford missed the tackle to start. He's the linebacker, number 41. He misses the tackle right in here. He's got him right there, right? He just gets pushed off. Now, Jimmy Williams is just hanging on, waiting for help to get there. And Gibney gets over there to help him.
That's exactly what Vanderbilt had to do. You know, thought about that coming in. When you get Travis Henry, if it's one guy, just hold on until we can get you some reinforcements. He breaks another tackle. Broke 2 tackles. First, it was Antoine Bradford. And then he got through Matt Stewart.
Well, you know he's going to get the football. He gets the football all the time. So you can kind of gear on him and just look at him. Watch Bradford come up through the middle and miss him right there. You got to hold on. You got to wrap him up. Matt Stewart misses him. Everybody gets a swing at him. When you get a great back like that, you got to get help. You got to get other people there.
Boston to the air. Pass well short of the intended target of David Martin.
And you know what happens to a quarterback when he presses? He goes back into bad habits. And that time, when Casey Clausen threw the football, he didn't deliver the football. He didn't step forward. He kind of slung it out there. And I think that's what Philip Fulmer took off his headset and just kind of glared at him. It's go back to your basics. Go back to your mechanics that you've done so well all season.
Well, 2nd down and 10. Play clock already down to 7 seconds before they even got in position.
Boy, 10 men up on the line. There's a lot of black shirts up there.
Henry finds a hole. Travis Henry. It's a foot race with Jimmy Williams. Travis Henry down to the 20. Taken down at the 13-yard line by Jimmy Williams. And Dave, they had 10 at the line of scrimmage. Did Vanderbilt, and they got burned. 61 yards for Henry.
Everybody will tell you when you blitz like that, you better get to him. And what happens? Look at all the black shirts now. Once he splits right there, he's gone. There's nobody coming up. You see everybody chasing him. You got to credit Jimmy Williams for running him down here. Henry looks back at him, sees him, tries to stiff arm him, but Jimmy Williams wasn't going to go for that. But again, look at that stiff arm right there. Jimmy Williams just hanging on. But Travis Henry just burst through.
Travis Henry, by the way, 3,000 career yards with that 61-yard pickup, the 20th player in SEC history to reach that plateau. Travis Stevens, the junior, on the carry. Congratulations to Travis Henry, Tennessee's all-time leading rusher. Now has 3,007 rushing yards, and he's actually the 20th as Deuce McAllister went over the 3,000-yard rushing mark on Thursday night against Mississippi State.
And we had a lot of fun looking up some of those names. There were some great names in the SEC history with 3,000 yards.
Charles Davis came up with one I didn't even have a clue about. Lars Tate, the former Georgia running back, has over 3,000 yards. Look at Travis Stevens keep his feet moving. Look at him go!
Oh, now wait a minute.
They mark him down at the 1.
Oh, listen to this crowd. See, they thought his momentum was stopped. And I did too at about the 4-yard line.
Well, you know, that's one of those situations, Dave. We've seen that. Sometimes they'll blow the whistle.
Yeah, now watch right here. As he stopped right in here. Now right in there, you see, you think he stopped. Well, the official didn't blow the whistle. You keep playing.
Absolutely.
Boy, you got to credit Travis Stevens. Great leg strength. You know, we talked a lot about him playing in the shadows of Travis Henry, just like Travis Henry played in the shadows of Jamal Lewis.
Touchdown. Travis Stevens, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. And he looks like he might be a little banged up, but there's just no way to stop that high arching dive from the 1 between either. It doesn't matter if it's Henry or Stevens.
Well, you just try to take down the front line, then you go up and over and roll over on the pile. But a great take control drive, take momentum drive, I should say, by Tennessee. Came out here, And you can see whatever Philip Fulmer and his staff said to him, they got the attention of Tennessee.
Alex Walls with the point after. It is up, and it is good. So Tennessee, mainly on the ground, goes 7 plays, 83 yards. Capped off by Travis Stevens' 1-yard dive. Alex Walls set to kick off. Kickoff was a problem a couple of weeks ago for this Tennessee team. They kicked numerous kicks out of bounds, not much distance, but over the last game and a half, they've done a nice job. Perkins and Hatcher back to return the kick. It'll be Hatcher at the 7. Hatcher out across the 25 to the 26-yard line, a return of 18 yards. And let's check in with Charles Davis, who has more on an injury update.
Yeah, guys, Vanderbilt's job just got a little bit tougher. Chris Young, the wide receiver, the freshman who's got a lot of speed, and you know they need to throw the ball in the second half. He's on crutches, has a sprained left knee. They x-rayed him at the half. He will obviously not be back for the second half. A little bit tougher for Greg Zollman. Now it's Dan Stricker, Elliott Carson, and who?
Anthony Jones.
Anthony Jones, number 1. He's got to be a factor in this.
He better be if they want to be successful. How about a little razzle-dazzle? Down the field, looking for Anthony Jones, but he was extremely well covered by Willie Miles.
Boy, and John Henderson really disrupted that play. Just blasting up the middle. Big number 98. Look at this. He's right in there. Whoops, I better throw that ball back. Now, look, I'm right in the quarterback's face. I make the quarterback move it away.
Zollman actually had a chance to stay on his feet and watch the end of that pass. He hasn't seen many of those yet.
That's exactly right. Golly, he's been on the ground a lot.
You see his numbers today. We talked about it, that last year, 7 of 21, 94 yards, 2 interceptions.
Well, Jones has got that one-on-one coverage at the bottom of the screen here.
He can shake free of Miles, but they run it to Lou Thomas. Just didn't have the foot speed to beat the defense of Tennessee, where they've got speed all over the field.
Yeah, when you catch that little stunt pass in the backfield there, you've got to be able to explode. He's thrown out here. What you're doing is you're just coming off the seam, right on out here, throw the football. Now, when you turn around, bow, you just got to roar up through there.
Steve Crosby, the offensive coordinator.
Don't you love talking to Steve Crosby? I mean, you never know exactly what he's going to say. He's fun.
He had some good ones. He always has a one-liner for you.
Oh, yeah.
4 wide receivers on 3rd and 9. Play clock down to 1. They get it off. Zollman up top looking for Anthony Jones. He gets bumped. Ball's picked off, but Jones will run him out of bounds, but a flag down and another flag, and probably a late hit.
I think they hit the quarterback late. Now that may be a dead ball play.
That might be an extra 15.
Yeah, but that was interference here on Jones coming down the sideline. They jammed him, and then is it compounded by the late hit on the quarterback? Philip Fulmer doesn't like that. Well, we'll hear what it is. There's the interference on the defense. Dead ball. Yep.
This is big. This could be his 25-yard gain.
Yeah, now this is the interference right in here.
We just missed it. It was right before that. Yeah. A bump right on the sideline. And
Zollman looking up there. Oh,
what the heck was that?
I thought my golly.
Oh, actually, he saw the ball being.
Yeah, you know, in fairness to Kendrick.
15 yards from the previous spot. First down. Dead ball. Late hit against the defense. 15 yards from the subsequent spot.
Well, actually, what had happened is Edric Kendrick saw the ball picked off, so he was blocking the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he saw. As soon as he saw the interception, he just turned around and hit him.
And that's what he's saying. I was just blocking a guy. 9 for 104 today. And it may have been a little bit of a cheap shot on Kendrick's part, but nonetheless, the ball was picked off, and he has every right to take a shot at the quarterback.
Now, of course, the interception was about 35 or 40 yards downfield.
But, I mean, it's not a penalty, Dave. That's my point. He has a right to block him.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just trying to give the defensive player a little bit of understanding. Oh,
here's McGrath. McGrath closing in on the 30, stopped at the 31, a pickup of 11. That's their second biggest rushing gain of the day. Gaines and Westmoreland on the tackle.
And that was an interesting play. It was a draw play underneath handoff, and they guessed right. Tennessee in a blitz. They're going to come from the outside here. Look at the blitz, and he just gives that underneath handoff. Now just get to the outside here and find some room. Heads up play.
Charles, what do you got?
Guys, I love Jared McGrath, the tailback, but Ray Perkins is the speed guy. He runs that same play. Don't you think that pops a lot bigger?
He sure would. I think he may take it an extra 15, 20 yards. You're right. That's a good point.
Perkins leads the team with a 5.1 average rushing, but McGrath is the senior, the veteran, been in these games before out of Ocala. 6th all-time leading rusher at Vanderbilt. He gets the handoff again. McGrath spinning.
All right, fellas, that's it.
Gets to the 30, picks up a couple of yards. John Henderson with the tackle. John Henderson this season has 65 total tackles to lead all down linemen in that department. And today, John has 3 tackles. He also has 11 sacks. I mean,
well, and talk about that for a minute, Dave, because that's in, what, 10 games? I mean, we're talking about 6.5 tackles. You don't make that from a defensive lineman spot. You might make it from a linebacker averaging 6, 7 tackles, but not from a defensive lineman. That just shows it's not only at the point of attack, but he runs to the ball so well.
Here comes Lou Thomas. Lou Thomas gets popped at the 31, and the flag is down. We'll see what that is. Probably holding.
I think it's on McGrath. Oh, and if it is, it's behind the play. Behind the play. You just don't do this kind of stuff. That's a tough one.
That was Anthony Sessions that I think was the victim. While McGrath was the perpetrator.
Yeah, there he is right there. Anthony Sessions, yeah, he had the hands on him. The official coming from the side saw the hands up on him.
On the foul. Repeat second down.
Well, they get a chance to repeat second down. That's, I guess, if you're trying to be the optimist.
Well,
it was going to be 3rd and 10.
You know what I do in this situation? I try to find Stricker. I try to find him on that crossing pattern. He's been good all game. Yeah. He catches everything that's been thrown his way.
He's been good all season.
Yes,
there he
has.
is, 85. He lines up at the far side, wide side of the field, top of your screen on 2nd down and 18. Lou Thomas in motion.
Oh, he's let that one float on him.
Well, he was looking for Stricker, but Stricker cut his route off. I think Zolman's mad because he needed to. He was expecting it to be down near the 1st down marker, which is at the 22, and Stricker cut it off at about the 25.
Well, he also just threw it. It just floated away on him, but Stricker's been a marvelous football player for them this year. He's given us some offensive punch. You start thinking about what Vanderbilt needs for next season. They need some wide receivers to get deep. They need a big-time running back, that plow running back like a Woody or a Cheese or a Travis Henry, someone like that.
Zolman just overthrew his receiver, Anthony Jones. And Willie Miles celebrating. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, you know what? Punting in this situation, I don't know. You know, if I'm down 21-3, I got the ball on the 38-yard line. I'm not going anywhere for Christmas. I'm going to be home, right? You know, I don't know. I might just take a chance at it. Now they only have they're missing about 4 players out there. They're missing a whole side over there. Look, there's nobody over there. Well, there comes 1. There comes 2. There comes 3.
Play clock down to 8, 7.
They're going to have to take a delay penalty here because they still don't have enough in.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Their ball rests at the 38, so back them up. Probably a little bit better for Joe Webb.
There's another one in.
Tom Simone comes in, the tight end.
I think the Vanderbilt players thought they were going to go for it.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Gets the offense. It's declined. It remain 4th down.
And you know, that's an interesting call right there. They declined it because that gives the punter less room. Heads up call there by Tennessee coaches. Hey, decline it. Don't give them that extra 5 yards to kick it inside the 10-15 yard line. Make them punt. Tennessee.
Matt Stewart, the center. Joe Webb.
Okay, let's go.
High spiral. This ball sailed on him, but it'll bounce into the end zone. Touchback, a 38-yard punt for Joe Webb. It's the 2000 season finale for JP Sports. Tennessee leads at 21-3. 5 cinnamon Altoids at one time. That'll warm you up, like I just did.
I couldn't figure out what happened to you.
Goodness gracious. I don't recommend that for anybody at home. 8:50. Travis, as has been the case for most of this season, when Tennessee's successful, it's because of their senior tailback, Travis Henry. Today, no different.
No, it wasn't, but it was interesting in the first half. He really wasn't running well, didn't get the yardage. His linemen weren't making the blocks. But in the second half, he has just burst onto the scene. Again, he's carried just a few times this half, but 71 yards total in the second half. He's averaging 6.3 yards.
And there you go. Another record by the wayside. 14 career 100-yard rushing records. And Matt Stewart may have just fallen on the football. He did. Matt Stewart with a big turnover for the Commodores. He had a fumble 2 weeks ago against Kentucky that saved the day. Philip Fulmer wanting something. Who's he trying to talk to?
Well, the ball just gets out. Watch this. It just gets out there. Boston tries to get on. Look how quick Stewart's in there. You're going to wrestle it away from him. Stewart, he's just still grinding, and for Phil Fulmer's got to be concerned. They're up 21-3. They're about ready to take control of this football game. Now you give it to him on the 23-yard line.
That's the 4th fumble recovery this season for Matt Stewart. His year and his numbers keep getting better and better. 1st and 10. They're knocking on the door inside the 25. Ray Perkins on the carry. And here's a look at our Pizza Hut scoreboard. Georgia Tech got out to a big lead, held off Georgia 27-15. Georgia Tech on a roll right now. Miami all over Boston College. I don't know if that's enough, though, to get past Florida State in the BCS standings. Notre Dame hanging on by a touchdown over USC, and Oklahoma in a tight one. But I think they've locked up a BCS spot if they won that 9-7 or 8-7.
Well, if you're a Vanderbilt fan, you've got to make something happen. Now, the defense, I saw Pat Green move, but the defense jumped into the neutral zone. Pat Green's number 60, but the defense came across. Now, that's what he's saying. The defense jumped into the neutral zone, and he reacted on it. But now the defender's over there saying, hey, he moved and I came across. Guess who won? When you see the offensive lineman clapping their hand.
And, Dave, most importantly, that'll give them a first down.
Yeah.
Down around the 12.
Prior to the snap, offsides, gets the defense. Defense drew the offense offsides. The line of game was made. First down.
See, now he jumped in there, and you saw Pat Green's head pop up, but he said the defensive player, and he won the argument.
It has been it's been a sloppy game for Tennessee, and I'm sure that he is very frustrated. That is Philip Fulmer. I mean, 10 penalties indicative of this team just not. I don't think they came out here as focused certainly as he would have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're talking about 55 penalties for the year, and they got 10 today.
Perkins with a speed to the outside, ran out of bounds, and then gets popped.
Ouch.
And there's a late flag, and he got popped right in the back.
Boy, he did. He turned around and let up, and Anthony Sessions just came over there. And what happened is Perkins just stopped. That's a dead ball.
Just another penalty. And I got to tell you, Philip Fulmer has got to be churning up inside.
Now watch this. Get to the outside. When he steps out, he's trying to race for the corner. Now he steps out right here and eases up. And watch this.
Dead ball.
Pow.
Personal foul. Late hit.
That yellow hanky has been the biggest help for Vanderbilt on this drive. They've got a lot of yards by the yellow hanky.
This is very unlike Tennessee.
I know. 55 penalties for the year.
13 total first downs for Vanderbilt. 5 of them by way of penalty today.
All right, now you got first down. You're on the 6-yard line. You know what I'd do in this situation? I'd just say, hey, you got to get the football in the end zone.
Now, maybe a little quarterback draw.
Maybe, but I think you got to run it at least one time to keep them honest.
All right, they'll take it down to the 3. Anthony Sessions.
And that's not bad. That keeps them honest. You keep them tight inside. Maybe toss it one time to try to get outside. If you don't get it, then try to find your big tight end or Stricker on a cross. Steve Crosby's down there telling them what they're going to do.
There's Perkins. You know, a pitch to the wide side of the field. Let him see if he can't outrun. That Tennessee defense, he's got great sub 4.4 speed, does Ray Perkins, but this Tennessee defense is just really quick, so I don't know if that'll work.
Well, I think he's got the speed to get to the outside, except Eric Westmoreland, 42's out there.
We'll play action. We'll try that. Zolman under pressure. Zolman to the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Zolman a little banged up. Pressure came from Anthony Sessions. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Just ran out of room on the near side.
Well, he wanted his tight end to come across the middle, and his tight end fell down in the end zone. But Zolman, fortunately, doesn't take a sack right here. You take a sack right there, and you're out of the dance. A big down here. This is 4-down territory. Look at that. That is incredible. 34 times he's been hurried and knocked down. That's a lot. Oh, right in his hands.
Anthony Jones.
Oh.
I'm telling you, the coaches said this guy for 2 weeks couldn't drop anything. He was like glue.
Now, I wondered if Stephen Marsh, number 9, gets a hand on it. But this is right in. Look right there.
No.
Oh, no. There's no hand in there. You got to catch this. I don't care if it's thrown behind you. You got to catch it. And Zolman's got to come to the sideline upset.
How many times are you going to throw it to the guy if he's not going to catch it?
Well, not many. Let me tell you something. I had a quarterback, and his name was Stabler, and let me tell you something. He'd give up on wide receivers. You didn't catch it, you don't have to worry about getting it thrown to you.
Vanderbilt will take the 3. It's 21-6 now, but a tough day of it for Anthony Jones, still looking for his first catch. John Markham puts the 3 on the board. 21-6 Vols. Back after a word from your local station. Welcome back to Adelphia Coliseum in Nashville, Tennessee, home to the Tennessee Titans, but today home to the Vanderbilt Commodores, playing their first home game away from Vanderbilt Stadium, Dudley Field, since 1922. And a capacity crowd here on what's turned out to be a decent night for football.
Now, where'd you come up with that stat? Somebody had to tell you that.
Research, Dave, research.
I hear you.
Leonard Scott tried to break the tackle, couldn't do it. 14-yard return. Charles, what do you got?
Dave Rowe, I keep hearing you wonder, why doesn't Vanderbilt go for it in certain situations? Frankly, I have no answer for you. I had the same question. Down 21-3 here. They're not playing for a bowl bid. They're not trying to protect anything. They're just going home after this one is over. Why not fire all your guns in that position?
Well, you know what they say, Charles, when playing for a tie is like kissing your sister, and I just play to win. I mean, I'd go for it.
A couple of UT turnovers have resulted in 6 points, but that won't get it. And the other team already has 21. I will say this on that 4th down, though, Charles and Dave. It was 4th and 14 or something. I mean, and they haven't been making big plays today. You know, 4th and 5, maybe, I think. And I'm just thinking out of, you know, maybe like Coach Woodenhofer was.
Well, you want 3 points. You don't want to drive down there, and there is a thing called momentum and coming away with points, and that's a valid point, but I think
you don't like.
No, I think you got to score touchdowns. I mean, this Tennessee is Tennessee team's a great football team.
There's a great running back, Travis Henry, motors his way to another 9-yard pickup. Harold Lurchis on the tackle, but Travis Henry continues to run behind what's an ever-improving offensive line and fullback.
Well, you see the great block there up front. Again, that's Will Bartholomew getting that block up front. That's what bursts it through there. When you can knock out that linebacker, and if you're a Jamie Winborn or a Bradford, you can't let that happen. And now it's time just to control it on the ground. Run it, see if you can just keep it going, keep the clock going, throw safe passes.
Clausen complete to the tight end, down, or up to, I should say, the 41. A gain of 13. Finlinson picks up the reception. That's his 6th of the season.
And you see that little fake reverse action where he fakes out here. Little play now. He comes out there and just runs Finlayson off the line. Big target there. Not a whole lot of catches for him this year. They really don't use their tight end in the pass game, and that's because their wideouts are so great.
John, a 2-time academic All-SEC performer. Travis Henry was a shoestring away from breaking that deep into the Vanderbilt secondary, but Jamie Winborn grabbed a shoelace and held on just long enough.
You talk about gone. This is gone. Watch number 42 in the right of your screen. Just get a hand right there. Oh. They're getting ready. Look at that hole. My goodness gracious, you're gone, right? Just clips his toe.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, wow.
Travis Henry now with 143 yards, averaging 9 per carry today. Wow.
Well, and you talk about what it was like at halftime. You go back with the things that you do best, and that's Tennessee runs the football. The second half has been a great half for Travis Henry so far. He was, what, 43 rushes for 15 carries in the first half? Not typical Travis Henry day. It is now.
All right, here we go.
Boy, a lot of people up on the line. Oh, he fumbled again.
No, he went low. That's all.
Yeah, he was real low. I thought for a second he fumbled. Wow. Casey Clausen got his head down there in a hurry.
For first down for the Vols, so a fresh set of downs. You know, we were talking about Travis moments ago, and you look over his senior year, he had 214 yards versus Arkansas, 175 on 37 carries versus Florida. But it's really been the month of November in his career that he has really been a standout performer. He now has 10 100-yard games in 13 games in the month of November. 10 of 13 he's gone over 100. Maybe lost a yard. Antoine Bradford on the stop.
Well, he brings so much to this team. Whenever a quarterback, you've got a freshman quarterback. They had all that uncertainty in the beginning of the season. They're going to go with a freshman quarterback, and he gives you stability. He allows you just to hand the ball off and let your quarterback where he's not every time under pressure, as a Zolman is today. You just have that security that you can give it to Travis Henry, and he's going to pick up 4 or 5 yards. I like him, and I know you enjoyed talking with him in the pregame.
He has been something to watch run the football. There he is again. Gets met by Jamie Winborn and a host of other guys. But I'm still amazed, and I've said this the last couple of weeks we've had Tennessee on the air, is the fact that he's just 5'11". But, you know, when you run into the line of Vanderbilt, 42 is going to be there.
Yeah.
You can just pretty much expect that.
Well, the good thing on that play was Jamie Winborn playing off the block. Played off the block. You use your hands to play off the block, and that's what he does so well. A lot of talk whether Jamie Winborn will come back for his senior year. A lot of people are projecting him high in the NFL draft. But I really think he'd like to come back and have another good season here for Vanderbilt.
6 tackles today.
And that's not a whole lot for him. He's usually in double digits.
At 12 versus Florida with 3 sacks, had 19 versus Wake Forest. That pass was intended for Stallworth. He's looking for a flag, won't get it. Jimmy Williams playing a little defense, knocks it out of his hands.
And did you see what Jimmy Williams did that time? He ripped his arms away, reached in there. It's a crossing pattern, right to left. Watch him when he gets in there. He gets the arms in there and just pulls his arms apart. He doesn't let him get that right arm in there. See his arm come in there? Right there. See how he pulls that arm back? The right arm? That just separates the arms from the ball. Good play. He's another one that looks like he might get a chance to play on Sundays.
David Leverton with a high kick. Jimmy Williams back to return it. Catches it. Tries to outrun some folks who can't do it. Punt of 35, a loss of 1 on the return, and Richmond steps up big and makes the tackle on the special teams. Icehouse congratulates Frank Heyer from Tybee Island, Georgia, for winning with Get the Call. Get the Call was your chance to win great football prizes every Saturday while enjoying the JP Sports Game of the Week. Icehouse, the official beer of JP Sports Broadcast, reminds you to drink responsibly. Plank Road Brewery, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There was a flag on the play.
Dead ball, personal foul.
Late hit against the kicking team. 15 yards, the inland run.
This has been incredible. I don't know how many personal fouls that is. Philip Fulmer getting a little upset, probably just trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, that's frustration. You've got a team that's played so well. I mean, everything is peaking just at the right time. And then you get a game like this where you start getting sloppy and get personal fouls. Now, you can forgive them if they're personal fouls that are caused by, you know, just the anxiousness of getting there, but not when they're personal fouls.
Zolman hits Stricker. Ball just sailing today on Zolman. That ball was a little high. It was a nice grab by Stricker, gain of 15.
Well, Stricker just drove him off the ball. What he does is he just goes downfield real hard, drives them off the field, and then just turns around. See the cushion he has right there? Good play to go way up high. You know you're going to get hit.
Charles.
Hey, guys, when you throw a ball like that, your wide receiver always comes back to the huddle and tells you, I made a great catch, but don't do that again. Yeah. Don't hang me up there, guys.
Stricker 4 for 79 today. Zolman throws it to his tight end. Carson got 8 or 9 on the play.
You know what we used to call that? We used to call that hanging them out to dry. And boy, when you go up high for a ball, Charles, he's exactly right. You hang them out to dry.
The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Said I have to read that for the last time. There's a little option. It's McGrath into Vandy, Tennessee territory, knocked out of bounds at about the 44, gain of 6. That'll bring up second and short. Willie Miles made the stop, but now you're talking for Steve Crosby an opportunity to do some different things with a second and short.
Well, you know, it's interesting. We talked to Steve Crosby, the offensive coordinator, yesterday, and he said, we're going to pull out all the stops, and he is. That time you saw a little fake reverse action come down. The quarterback has the option to toss. He's got nothing to lose. He said, hey, let's loosen him up. I think his disappointment has been that his wide receivers haven't caught the football like they should have.
Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. A little handoff to McGrath. He's inside the 40, and that's a first down. He gets 6 on the carry. Move the chains. Kendrick and Sessions, or excuse me, Hainsworth and Sessions team up on that stop.
Well, you know what the concern for Philip Fulmer and his defense is right now? Hey, they're only down Vanderbilt is only down 15 points. We're not talking, you can talk about an 8, a 7, 2 8s. There's a lot of possibilities. If they score here, this game can get a lot tighter.
MJ Garrett, the receiver, at the bottom of your screen. That's where Zolman's going. That's a gain of 4 or 5 on the play.
And that's just chipping away at him. Zolman making good decisions right here. In talking with Steve Crosby yesterday, he said, hey, Zolman, when he gets hot, it's really interesting to watch him play. He likes to play with confidence, and he's throwing strikes right now. And that's got to boost his confidence. He's a player that kind of pressures. And Steve Crosby said, that's why I like to get him in that zone where he just starts completing 4 or 5 passes in a row.
Second down and 5. Thomas in motion. There's a little handoff. McGrath, boy, met at the line of scrimmage by Eric Westmoreland, who now has 6 tackles today. And that might be the last play of this third quarter as Vanderbilt's got a little something working here, trailing 21-16.
Well, I love the play of Eric Westmoreland, the outside linebacker. He's good.
65,000 on hand watching Tennessee and Vandy in the Battle of Tennessee. Back in the fourth quarter after this. 21-6, we begin the fourth quarter. Tennessee opened up on their first 2 possessions with back-to-back Travis Henry touchdowns, and since then Vanderbilt has put the clamps on it, and Tennessee's helped Vanderbilt do so. Here's Jared McGrath down to the 11-yard line. First down, Commodores. Marsh makes the stop, a gain of 23.
He's 33. He's on the left of the screen. He's just out of your picture. Now watch him come. He's going to come right in there. There he is right there. He's got he's got one-on-one coverage, and they can't stay with him. And credit that offensive line. Look at the time that Zolman has to stand back there and find him. When you can circle a back out of the backfield and you can find him, that means your offensive line is giving you time. They gave him time on that one.
But Vanderbilt will have to take a timeout. But they're knocking on the door again. It's 21-6 Tennessee, 14:28 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Ooh, Steve Crosby's upset out there.
He didn't want to really waste that timeout.
No, exactly right. He didn't. You move the chains. That gives you a little bit extra time.
Well, here's a look at our Bank of America stats through the third quarter. Rushing yards. Vanderbilt knew coming in here they weren't going to do much in that department. But how about this? Who would have thought that Vanderbilt would be outgaining Tennessee in the passing department after Casey Clausen has thrown for 553 in the last two games?
Well, and you see the turnovers right there. That's a big factor, too. One was the interception. The fumble way down there gave him 3 points. But Vanderbilt has to score on this situation. Then you start looking, they're down 15 points right now. A lot of things can happen.
Inside the red zone today, Vanderbilt has only had 2 field goals. And against Tennessee, you need more than that. That's Stricker in motion on 1st and 10. Zolman has some time to the end zone. Overthrows his tight end, Elliott Carson, just way over his head. That's the first incomplete pass, by the way, for Zolman on this drive. He was 5 for 5 until that one.
And you talked about it earlier. The ball just sailed over his head. Look, he's wide open. Watch when he makes his cut right at the top left.
Oh, yeah.
He's wide open. See how the ball just kind of takes off on him? It's not a good throw by Zolman. You wonder if he was under pressure or what? Nope, he knew it right off. Bang, slap. That's one where you come back and say, hey, that's my fault. Get open again, I'll hit you this time.
2nd and 10 from the 11. Stricker in motion again. Little quick hitter over the middle. Touchdown, Commodores, M.J. Garrett. His first touchdown reception of the season.
Well, it's just a dart inside crossing pattern going to the post. Look at the angle. Great separation right there. Willie Miles really not under coverage. And Zolman knows. Interesting. Woody Woodenhopper likes to go for 1 now.
He missed the extra point.
Goodness
He
gracious.
missed the extra point.
Oh, mercy.
21-12. But the Commodores put 6 on the board behind M.J. Garrett. We are back. Vanderbilt kicks off. Leonard Scott has it. Dropped at the 22 and a loose football. A loose football. Who's got it? And Tennessee will retain possession.
Woo, could that have turned it around? I thought I saw a flag on the play. There's the ball. It's out. Oh, mercy. Oh, my goodness. Evidently no flag on the play. Wow, 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 wow.
That would have been huge. Scoring drive, they went 75 yards. Zolman 6 of 7. And he had all the yards. Through the air. Clausen to the air. Pass dropped at the 36, Eric Parker.
Boy, when it ain't your day, it ain't your day, Casey Clausen. Eric Parker just dropped one on you. But you just got to fight your way through it. And I'm sure that's what Philip Fulmer is telling him. Just fight your way through it. This is right on the mark. It's perfect. He just drops it. Boom. No pressure, just doesn't bring it in.
10 of 23 for a $111 today. Here's Travis Henry. He goes nowhere, and that'll bring up third down. Bradford and Morrow.
Now, what you have to realize is momentum is in Vanderbilt's favor right now. I know they're losing, but momentum is in their favor. Their offense has just come down and scored, and there's nowhere to come. Oh, that ball almost came out there. Look at that. You see that ball go down? Herb Patera, the defensive coordinator, giving the signals in there. He wants one more big play. He wants to get it back for his offense.
6 defensive backs. Tennessee 3rd and 8 on 3rd down, 3 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. Clausen to the air, nearly picked off. Jimmy Williams had it read extremely well. They were looking for Cedric Wilson, and Tennessee's going to have to punt it away.
Boy, I thought Jimmy Williams almost caught this ball. Look on the left of your screen. Watch the ball and watch number 9. Oh, he just barely got a hand in there. Again, right on the end of the fingertips. That's been the difference today for Casey Clausen. But look at Vanderbilt. They've got 10 up on the line again. They're coming after it.
Not a David Leverton-like day today. He did hit a high spiral. Jimmy Williams back. Will field it at the 36. Jimmy gets a block and takes it to the 47, and that's a pretty good starting spot for the Commodores. A 40-yard punt and an 11-yard return. Eddie Moore with the special teams stop.
And Dave, we talked about this being a huge Tennessee crowd. They are all sitting there taking a deep breath because the momentum in this football game has totally changed. Look at them. There's nobody cheering. This is Rocky Top country. This is where they yell and scream. Everybody's sitting there just taking a deep gasp and saying, oh my goodness, we're only up by 9 points.
A lot of orange in this stadium despite it being a Nashville Vanderbilt home game. Zolman took a knee and a flag also thrown.
Now, what's the flag? Don't tell me it's holding compounded from the point. Ooh.
John Henderson will get credit for the sack. That's 2 today.
He's right there. John Henderson. He's going to make a rush out in here. Watch him. Does he get pulled down right there? And he gets the tackle. And the flag comes in.
And for John Henderson now, that is 12 sacks. The UT record for sacks in a season is 15 by Reggie White.
Holding on the offense. It's declined. Be second down.
Pizza Hut scoreboard. There you go. Miami now opening it up against Boston College. Notre Dame by 10 over Southern Cal. That one late. Oklahoma hanging on.
Wow.
And Georgia was beaten by Georgia Tech earlier today, 27-15. Here it's 21-12. Vandy in a little bit of a hole on 2nd and 17. They run McGrath. We got maybe a yard.
Well, I know you got to keep him honest, but I just think you got to go back to Stricker. He's been the man. He's been the one that's made the big catches. Run him on that little dart. See if you can find him in between that zone and get the ball to him. Number 85. There he is.
Stricker has 4 catches, 79 yards. Zolman under pressure, lofts it up, looking for Stricker. Stricker tried to make a cut, but he was in double coverage. Teddy Gaines on the coverage for the Vols. Dominic Stevenson putting some heat on him, and Vanderbilt will have to punt it away.
And you have to credit John Chavis and his staff, the defensive coordinator of Tennessee. They knew he was going to go to Stricker. Brought over the safety to help out, get that 2-deep coverage. And they took Stricker away from Greg Zolman.
Eric Parker back. Joe Webb to punt. Booming kick again. After that 14-yarder by Webb, he's got his act together today. Parker near sideline. Taken down at the 25-yard line by Steve Rock. 47-yard punt, 14-yard return. We got ourselves a little bit of a ball game here. 21-12 Vols, just under 12 minutes left to play. Back after this message from Alltel. I don't think Tennessee expected this much of a battle from Vanderbilt. 21-12, Vols lead. Here's Travis Henry. He picks up 4 or 5 on the play. Travis already up over 100 yards today. Travis on the afternoon, 145 yards. He has been the workhorse. Had a big 61-yard touchdown run earlier. Second down and 6 now for the Vols. They would love to string together some first downs and keep the ball away from Vanderbilt.
Who better? Ooh, what a hit in the middle. Wow.
Who was that? Jamie Winborn.
Oh, wow. He got up like King Kong.
Jamie now with 7 stops today.
Watch this straight ahead. This is like 2 Rams. Pow.
Woo.
Oh, man. But how about Travis Henry? He still comes off and tries to get another yard. Whoa, that was a hit.
Those two have had some major collisions over the past couple of years. Jamie now up over 100 tackles for the 3rd year in a row. Had 141 a year ago, 131 as a freshman. Both of those numbers led the Southeastern Conference. But this year he missed the first 2 games for Vanderbilt due to suspension. He and Jimmy Williams. On 3rd down, claws in, sack! Back at the 20-yard line, Antoine Bradford. His first sack today, and it's tackle number 10. And Tennessee's going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, 41. Watch this 93 little circle inside there. There comes Bradford, 41, and Doyle Crosby, 93. They did a little stun in there. They got penetration and brought down Clausen. They're going to get the ball back again. Again, 10 men up on a line of scrimmage. You know they're coming after it.
Jimmy Williams back to return.
Ooh, that's a boomer. Woo! That'll bring rain.
Back to the 29. Williams looking for a hole. Williams has got some room. He is out to the 47-yard line. A 51-yard kick, an 18-yard return. And Vanderbilt has won the battle of field position here in the 4th quarter. Well, today, Casey Clausen, substandard by what has been a lofty standard in the last 5 games. Just 10 of 25 today with a couple of picks. In the second half, only completed 1 pass. Zolman, meanwhile, he's only completing 40% of his passes. These 2 defenses have been, they've been tough today.
Well, they have been. You can't blame this game. Any loss on the defense, they have really played hard.
Zolman looking up top, has a man, M.J. Garrett, batted away at the last moment by Willie Miles.
Oh.
M.J. Garrett was open, but a heck of a recovery by Miles.
Well, you know what the Zolman should be really upset about? He hung the ball up. Throw it. Look how high the ball is. And you allow him to come over inside. That ball needed to be delivered. Don't throw the high trajectory. Deliver the ball. See how high the ball goes? It allows Willie Miles to come over and just get the hand open. But M.J. Garrett was wide open. And you can see it. He knows it right now. He had him.
Steve Crosby says you only have 4 or 5 opportunities like that a game.
That's one they missed on.
False start. Looks like Pat Green, the tackle, might have jumped. He points over there and says that he was drawn off. We'll see what our officiating crew has to say about that little discussion.
Prior to the snap, false start, gets the offense.
That'll back him up 5.
Remain second down.
But there were some reports, erroneous reports on national television earlier that about Woody Woodenhofer and his job. Well, we had just talked to Todd Turner, the athletic director here at Vanderbilt, and asked him about Woody, and he says absolutely, there is no question, 100% Woody Woodenhofer will be the coach of the Vanderbilt Commodores in the year 2001. There was a mention on another source about that, but Woody will be back in 2001. Zolman hit as he lets it go. That'll bring up 3rd down. Westmoreland put the heat on him, looking for Stricker.
And you know what? I think if I'm in this situation and I'm Zolman, I may go back to M.J. Garrett. He's caught the ball well. He's looking over at him right now, talking to him. Again, you see Garrett come in the huddle. A lot of times you'll see a quarterback do that. Ouch. That's a day.
That's 40 plays, right? Wow.
Zolman to the air. Pass is caught by Stricker. Did he get a first down? I think he did. Andre Lott in disgust. They needed 15. They got 16.
Wow. And you know what's amazing on this play is that Stricker knew exactly where he had to go. Watch this. Run him deep. Give him that fake. You know, see,
oh, what a move.
Now watch right there. Now see, he sees that line right there he had to get to. He had to get to the flag. He gets to it. Look at the official put spot right down where it was.
Well, Stricker sold the deep route extremely well.
Yeah. Just a sophomore. They're going to see a lot of him.
Philip Fulmer knows he's got a game on his hands right now. 1st and 10, ball inside the Tennessee 50. Lou Thomas in motion. Little play action. Who? Dan Stricker. First down.
Another one. And Zolman went down again. He got hit. I mean, he's getting no breaks back there. Well, you talk about a tough kid. He had somebody right on him. Might have been Marsh that was coming on that blitz, but wow. Zolman unloads it in a hurry.
1st and 10, ball rest at the 31. I will say this about Greg Zolman. He was beat up, basically put up in the first half, and he has continued on. John Chavis leaning back in his chair, the defensive coordinator for the Volunteers. Here comes the pressure. Zolman unloads. Caught. Elliott Carson, first down inside the 20. Oh, boy, Dave Rowe, how big does that missed extra point loom now?
It looms huge because it's almost like accepted like an automatic, and you're thinking, okay, next time I get down there, I'm going to go for 8. But watch this little route. Just come in the middle, turn around, and now just squat down and be a big target. Right there, just be a big target. Carson, that 6'6" frame. But how about Zolman? Talk about moving the football.
Charles.
Hey guys, 2-deep zone. That's why Elliott Carson was open in the middle of the field. When you run a 2-deep zone, the tight end becomes a big player in your offense.
They've got a good one, Charles, and Elliott Carson. Little play action again. Zolman to the air. A rope. Touchdown! M.J. Garrett!
Well, he catches M.J. Garrett on a crossing pattern. Number 84 to the left of your screen. Look at that, just perfectly thrown. And Vanderbilt has all the momentum. 2 touchdowns, both of them today. Coming into this game, Garrett only had 7 catches for the year.
That point after is up and good. It is now a 3-point football game. M.J. Garrett, 2 touchdown catches this year, both today. We got a game. M.J. Garrett actually lost his starting spot to one Anthony Jones, but Anthony's had not such a great game. So M.J. Garrett back on the field. All he has done is catch 3 passes, 2 of them for touchdowns, and that Vandy defense ready to go. Travis Stevens back to return this kick. He's got some room. Travis Stevens across the 40. Still on his feet, out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
Well, that's the only thing that can hurt Vandy right now, and it's a great return. And credit Travis Stevens. Watch this. It's a roller, and he gets that little seam now. He's going to break to his right, and look, he sees that seam. He never breaks stride. And for Woody Woodenhofer, that's got to be concerned because his defense is playing hard. They're chomping at the bit to get out there, and now you let him out to midfield.
Mike Martin, reserve cornerback out of Tampa, Florida, looks a little banged up, sophomore. This defense, though, chomping at the bit.
Oh, they are.
There's Herb Patera with the visor on, the defensive coordinator. And you know, Woody, this is his kind of game. Former defensive coordinator. Matter of fact, the 3 years that they were dominating defensively and held Tennessee to some low numbers, both point-wise and yardage-wise. Woody was the defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. In the last 2 series, they were 3 and out. Their defense went in, held Tennessee without a first down. The last 3 straight times they punted. So their defense has really played well, but now all of a sudden Tennessee gets that spark. They're out to midfield.
What do you bet 20 becomes a factor for the final 8:29? But they'll go to the air first off. And I got to tell you something. Casey Clausen is misfiring. This half, Dave, he's 1 of 6 for 12 yards. He's fumbled once. He could have had a couple of passes picked off.
Well, that one wasn't even close. That's miscommunication between Cedric Wilson and Casey Clausen.
Look what Tennessee did, Dave, in the first 2 drives. They went 112 yards, 2 Henry touchdowns. They led 14-0. First drive of the second half, 82 yards, mainly behind Travis Henry, 61 yards on the ground. Their other drives, 38 plays for a total of 81 yards.
No, it's been Vanderbilt's defense.
There's 20. Tackle made by Lurchus. Gain of about 3. That'll set up 3rd and long.
Well, it is time right now at Vanderbilt. They want one defensive play, and there's the man you want to lead in there for you, number 42.
Charles.
This is a huge 3rd down, guys, but Tennessee's defense needs a break. The last 2 drives for Vanderbilt resulted in scores. They need the offense to control the ball for a little while, give them a chance to catch their breath.
Absolutely, but they're facing 3rd down and 6.
Got to get pressure on the quarterback.
Winborn looking like he's blitzing, but he falls off. Pressure for Clausen. Pass is caught. First down. Cedric Wilson, when you need a big catch, where do you go? How about the senior?
Absolutely. Right in the slot right there. Watch him come inside. Now he's going to drive him off and just curl right in there. Good throw. Look it in. You make sure you got that first down yardage. You're right. That's who you go to when you need it.
Cedric today, 3 catches, 28 yards. He can't believe the Vols are only leading by 2.
Ball's gone.
Eric Locke with his 2nd reception today.
Now, you know what I do in this situation with 7 minutes and going to be under 7 minutes? I go back to number 20. He's the guy that's run the football so well. He can run the clock out. He can move the chains. It's 2nd down and 5 yards to go. Why not just give it to the cheese and see what he can do with it?
Well, we know he can carry it a bunch of times if need be. He had 37 rushes against Florida. Today he has 28 for $152.
Boy, look at Vanderbilt creep up on the line.
Quick hitter. Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson down to the 15. A gain of 16. And Stewart and Wilson exchange pleasantries. The 2 seniors have seen quite a bit of each other over the past 4 years.
Well, too much cushion from the defense that time. Watch when Cedric Wilson catches it. Nobody around him. Defensive corner Jimmy Williams, number 9, had given too much yardage. He had a little bit more respect for Cedric Wilson. You got a challenge in this situation. Now, if you're Vanderbilt, you've got to be thinking, hold them to a field goal. That'll give them a 5-point lead. You cannot allow them in for a score. Tennessee, they're saying, hey, we want 7.
Little fade route. They're looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Volunteers. It's Cedric Wilson. Jimmy Williams was on the coverage. A great matchup of 2 great athletes. And that's the 12th touchdown reception of the season for the senior out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Marvelous coordination between the quarterback and the wide receiver. It's almost like they talk to each other without even saying a word. He looks out there and he just lofts the ball up. Cedric Wilson runs underneath it. And he's going against a good corner in Jimmy Williams. That's just the best on the best. Wilson wins.
One after, up and good. Back to a 9-point game with 6:09 to play in the 4th quarter. Cedric Wilson had a big 3rd down catch to keep the drive alive. And then he has the touchdown reception. He has 58 yards on 5 catches today.
Well, that's just throwing to a point. That's just perfect. Now watch
nice
this.
throw.
Just get to the outside. Now you see Williams, he's got his eyes back. He can't look. Look at that, just thrown perfectly.
Stride for stride was Jimmy Williams, but the ball was thrown perfectly. And that's a sign of a really good quarterback, Dave. Having a horrible year, but he can still make the throw.
Yeah, he's having a bad day, but again, he just goes to his best, and that's what you do when you need it. You go to your seniors, your leaders. You go to Cedric Wilson or a Travis Henry.
Charles?
Hey, guys, you're exactly on target. You talked about the struggles of Casey Clausen and how you have to go through tough times in order to mature as a quarterback. But the real maturation is going through tough times and still hitting plays like he just hit down the stretch. That's a real quarterback maturing in front of our eyes.
Cedric Wilson, one more game in his Tennessee career. He, by the way, now one touchdown off the school record for touchdowns in a career held by Joey Kent. He has 12 touchdowns this season. He has 24 in his career, 12 this season, which is one off the school record for a season held by Marcus Nash. Jimmy Williams tripped up at the 31. Well, in the last quarter and a half, this Vanderbilt offense has come alive, Dave.
It has. It certainly has. Matt Stewart recovered that fumble. That got him in good field position, and Zolman made him pay for it as he got down and got the score. And then he comes right back inside to again M.J. Garrett on that crossing pattern. Their offense has moved the football. The big play was that that kickoff return when they returned it to midfield, Dave.
I give a lot of credit to this Vanderbilt defense that's given the offense ample opportunities to get it together. Zolman to the air. Pass caught. No, they rule it incomplete. Zolman can't believe it. Stricker, he can't believe it.
Well, I sure thought he had it there, but evidently he bobbled it going down. Let's see if we can take another peek at it. He's got it right there.
Nope, didn't it? Great call. Fell right on top of it.
Yeah, the official in good position down that sideline saw it. Look at Stricker. He's limping a little bit. He's got to be tired. He's run a lot of patterns today.
Stricker today 6 for 106. He's limping out. Second down and 10. In motion is McGrath. Here's a little option. Zolman pitches it to McGrath. McGrath still on his feet. First down. Out across the 45. Gain of 13. Nice little play.
Well, that was a nice look by Zolman to step up underneath and then still pass the football. Still pitch it out. Watch this. He's going to come up underneath the play right there. Now, look out there again. Don't quit on the play. And Jared McGarrett does not. I should say Jared McGrath. Excuse me. I was looking for his name real quick. I should know him. I really like him. Don't laugh at me.
Don't worry, Jared. He doesn't know my name either. And we've got the same first name. Zolman to the air. Incomplete. Clock stops at 5:22.
Well, this is 4-down territory. If you're Vanderbilt, you're playing to win. Woody Woodenhofer, I'll tell you one thing. You know, you talked earlier about that issue. I want to tell you, he's my kind of coach. I like him. I want to tell you something. He's a winner. I looked across the field a lot of years at him when he was with the black, and I was with the silver and black Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a winner. He's a player's coach. Players love him. They react. They respect him.
Well, Todd Turner, the AD, says he will be back. No question about it for the 2001 season. Zolman, he'll be back for the 2001 season, too. Complete to Elliott Carson, the tight end. Boy, pressure came from Henderson, who nearly got him.
Yeah, Henderson, but credit Zolman, just sticking back in that pocket, looking downfield. And this is another one of those crossing patterns. Going to the big tight end. You see him come open right there. He bobbles it a little bit. You got to catch it clean. But Zolman just hangs in there. Watch this. You've got big guys running around you. Hey, how many times has he been knocked down? What do we count? 40 times he's been knocked down, hurried.
Elliott today with 4 receptions. Couple of big ones. Zolman out of the shotgun, has some time. Goes to Stricker inside the 30. That's going to be a yard or two shy of the first down. Lot on the coverage.
Boy, and Zolman is in that zone right now. Everything he's throwing, he's got confidence. You see the way he's walking around out there, hands up on the hips, talking to everybody. You see a lot of confidence in his face.
Dan Stricker's been the man, is the man, will be the man.
Boy, I like Stricker. I'll tell you right now, he is a big-time receiver.
You know, Stricker's a guy turned down 7 baseball scholarships. He's got a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and the Commodores are glad he's playing football. Zolman. M.J. Garrett with his 4th reception today. 2 of those were touchdowns. Willie Miles runs him out of bounds. Another first down. And Tennessee is in that bend but don't break theory. And if they're not too careful, they're going to break right into the end zone.
Yeah, you better believe it. They're trying to give yardage and not break, as you say, but they're giving it in chunks of like 10 yards. Those chains are just moving down the field. You start looking at the time, still over 4 minutes left, a lot of time.
And the clock stops with the first down.
Now can he catch McGarrett at the top in that crossing pattern again to the post?
That's Stricker in motion. Little delay handoff, Jared McGrath. Jared trying to get outside. Jared McGrath inside the 5, down at the 1. And he gets out of bounds. Dominic Stevens finally ran him out of bounds. And McGrath almost broke it.
Well, when you get that pass going, it opens up the draw because the defensive linemen are coming hard trying to get pressure. And look at McGrath, cuts back inside and then gets out of bounds, stops the clock, still over 4 minutes left. They're on the 2-yard line. Oh, boy, Philip Fulmer, look at him look up at the clock. That's what he's looking at.
First and goal from the 2. Little play action, looking for Carson right through his arms. And a flag is thrown in the end zone.
Yeah, and I think that's Golden's going to be on interference on it. He shoved him in the back. Number 13. Might have saved the touchdown.
Pass interference on the defense. After distance to the goal.
Oh, they'll be back to first down, and they'll move it to the 1.
Well, watch number 13. Drag pattern out there. He pushes him right there. See how he pushes him right in the back right there? The official looking down, coming right at you. He just pushes him right in the middle of the back. Can't do that.
Here's McGrath. Touchdown, Commodores! Jared McGrath sticks his head in the end zone from a yard out, his 5th rushing touchdowns, and Vandy just won't go away.
Just power play. You call on your lineman, you say, hey, just get a push. That's all they needed was just a little bit of a push. Momentum has swung. I mean, right now there's a lot of concern on Tennessee's side of the football. Wow.
Well, Tennessee marched it down, scored a touchdown. What did Vanderbilt do? They marched it right back at them. Back to a 2-point game, 3:57 to go from Adelphia Coliseum in Nashville. Tennessee has given up 3 touchdowns in Vanderbilt's last 4 drives, and that man, I think, is shocked, quite frankly, at his team, and I think it's indicative when you look at the penalties they've had all over the field today.
Well, it just was not their day. They came in, they were not focused for whatever reason, whether it's traveling to Nashville or whatever reason. Philip Fulmer, Charles talked with him at just before halftime. You could see he was upset. His team has just not done well. I mean, we're talking about a team that had 55 penalties coming into this game. What do they got, 13 or 14 today? That's incredible. Look at Woody Hopper. Woody is saying, hey, just hang in there.
Charles.
Hey, you guys are talking about focus and Tennessee not being ready to play. Remember, 18 to 22-year-old kids, you've mashed a bunch of people lately when you've been playing, and Vanderbilt hasn't been much of a challenge for a lot of these kids who have been here playing for Tennessee. Hard to get up no matter what your coach tells you about a rivalry game. I think Vanderbilt has their attention now, though, don't you think?
Oh, wow. Do they ever. Vanderbilt's driven, what, the last 3 times, Dave, down the field and scored. Man.
John Markham to kick off. Now remember, there's a mixed extra point looming in there, which is why Vanderbilt hadn't had an opportunity in the last 2 touchdowns to go for 2 to tie it up. They wouldn't have done it any good. And they drop it down at the 5 to Travis Stevens. Stevens hit at the 15, dropped at the 16, a return of 11. And here comes the Commodore defense, but we've got 2 flags right around midfield. We'll wait and see what those are all about.
Well, they're thrown on the Tennessee side of the ball.
This is against Tennessee.
Dead ball. Personal foul against the kicking team.
Oh.
Dead ball. Personal foul.
Back and forth.
Against the receiving team.
Golly, how many penalties is that? Got to ask Earl. Earl, count them up. How many penalties? Golly. That is just
Here's a look
incredible.
at the second half possessions for Vanderbilt. They have scored 3 of their last 4 times. They've actually scored on 4 of 6 possessions here in the second half. Quite a difference from the first 30 minutes of this football game.
Well, if you're a Vandy fan now and they're all standing in this stadium, they want to see 3 and out. Remember, they wasted that 1 timeout. They have 2 timeouts left.
Travis Henry to the 20. Got about 3.5 on the play. Justin Gibney on the stop. Here's the timeout situation. Tennessee has their full complement. Vanderbilt has a pair left.
Boy, I was looking at Travis Henry's uniform and his hat on the other side. He's got black paint on it. I mean, look at him. That's a battered warrior right there.
Henry, 29 carries, 156 yards. Henry breaks a tackle, 2 tackles, gets close to the first down. Might be about a yard shy. Winborn hanging on.
Wow, who did he run over? Oh, man. That might have been number 14, Justin Gibney. I mean, he just runs over him right in the hole right there. Oh, wow. Look at the warrior. I'm going to tell you, that's my kind of football player.
30 carries today for Travis Henry.
Oh, I like him. Look at his helmet. Look at the scratches on his helmet.
5'11", 220 out of Frostproof, Florida. The key to him is his strength. Benches over 450 pounds. Well, a little bit of Vandy, Tennessee history. We'll take you back. 18 years ago, 1982, in Nashville, the Commodores winning 21-14, but it would be Johnny Jones who would run 43 yards for a touchdown to tie it in the start of the 4th quarter. But Vandy regained the lead when Whit Taylor ran in from 1 as the Commodores went ahead by 7. Now with time ticking away, Tennessee tries for the touchdown to tie the game, but the Commodore defense holds them. And Vandy wins 28-21. Last time Vandy had a winning record was in '82. They went 8-4 that year, went to a bowl game. Charles.
I just want you guys to know I redshirted that year.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
I want you to know that. But Whit Taylor, the all-time total offense leader at Vandy history, he talked to the team before the game for this one.
3rd and 1.
Ooh, wow, he had to make about the 27-yard line. The flip, I don't know where the flip took him.
That's going to be close. That was Travis Stevens, 34, went flipping over the pile. They'll give him the first down.
Oh, boy.
And a fresh set of downs. Mike Adam might have been the guy that made him go head over heels. It was. Ooh, Dave, I don't know, that football, he got turned around. That football.
I was looking at the same thing when his feet came way over, but the ball kind of just stayed right on the spot. But the official marked it, called it. Vanderbilt right now, they're thinking they've got to make a stop. 2:30 left.
1st and 10. Travis Henry tries to get outside. Past Matt Stewart. He gets knocked up. Jimmy Williams trips him up, but boy, Matt Stewart had a chance.
Boy, he did in the backfield. You got to make that tackle. Got to tackle through him. You can't let him stiff arm you. Watch Matt Stewart outside 26. Gets a stiff arm, doesn't make it. Hey, there's no fooling him right now.
Timeout by Vanderbilt on 2nd and 7. Clock stops 2:11.
I'll tell you what I do. I give it right back to him. I don't try to throw the ball because if an incompletion stops the clock, you want to keep the clock running right now. Give it to Travis Henry. Just let him keep on gnawing that yardage.
Now it's time to look at the BMW Ultimate Drive of the Game, brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. 7 plays, 82 yards. Travis Stevens goes 1 yard right over the top of that line back in the 3rd quarter. And that is our BMW Ultimate Drive of the Game.
A lot of discussion going right now. They're talking to Casey Clausen to see if perhaps he can find one of his wideouts. But again, if you pass that ball and it's incomplete, that stops the clock. That's what Vanderbilt wants. As I said, I think you just keep on going to Travis Henry. He's been the warrior. If you're Vandy, you know that number 20 is going to carry the football. He's the only one going to run it.
2nd down and 7.
Nope. I'll tell you, oh, there's an interesting one. I think the Tennessee jumped off sides. Might have been Champion. False start.
Prior to the snap, false start, gets the offense, 5 yards.
Oh, that does 2 things, Dave. Stops the clock, takes him back 5 yards. Now it changes because now all of a sudden it's 2nd down and about 13 yards.
Oh, my gosh. Their season high previously was 10. They 14, 135. They had 55 coming into this game.
That's incredible. That's what got me. Well, does Casey Clausen 2nd down, 12, 13 yards to go? Do you go to Cedric Wilson?
They added a couple of more seconds on the clock. It ticked to 2:09, but there's 2:11 on the clock. And now Tennessee faces 2nd down and 12. Well, I'm either going to my seniors.
If I'm going to pass it, you're right. I'm going to Cedric Wilson.
But they hand it off to the other senior, Travis Henry. Henry to the outside. Travis to the 41st down balls. That might have just done it. A gain of 15 on 2nd and 12.
Amazing. Did you see where he was running that football? And you hear the fans yell, cheese. That's going to the strong side. Look at this cut. All the way back underneath Nate Morrow, number 40. Just watch out now. Oh, man. Look at that. Gets the 1st down. You talk about warriors. He's my warrior.
32 for 180.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, you talk about durability, you talk about everything. He's got it.
They give it to him again.
And he picks up another 4 yards.
Tennessee has put together a nice string of games here. After that 2-3 start, they've won 5 in a row. One of the reasons is this man, Travis Henry, and Philip Fulmer knew it coming in, and I think everybody else knew it, but they can't do anything about it. It's Travis Henry. He has 536 yards rushing in the last 3 football games.
When you start thinking about Tennessee great rushers, I want to tell you something. He's at the top. I mean, we're talking about somebody who played in the shadows, and I keep on thinking about it. I mean, when you look at the all-time leading rusher, you think he started for 3 years, right? No way.
How about that? Looks like Travis Henry might have gotten hurt on that play. Travis Henry grabbing his left leg.
He might have gotten stepped on. I saw that Travis Henry went down. Look at him. Oh, no, don't tell me.
And let's hope this doesn't deteriorate. Guys are talking to each other.
Oh, no, don't tell me. No. Oh, you hate to see that. And it's just a freak play. It looked like he just fell over top of the quarterback. Quarterback was going to kneel down. Again, watch him. See right there? And see Henry just fall over top. Watch Travis Henry right here. He's just stepping up, right? He's going to knock down. Vanderbilt coming hard. They hit a couple players, and look, Henry just flips over backwards. Oh, don't tell me that. I don't want to see my Warrior get hurt. I declare him a Warrior.
Isn't that just ironic, Dave, that he's been just tearing up people today, running as hard as he has, and the one time he's really not doing anything, he gets hurt.
Yeah, he just eased up, just kind of relaxed. And you can't fault Vanderbilt. They just were rushing in there, trying to stop the clock quick. Looks like it's an ankle.
Remember last year, Dave, Travis Henry didn't make it through halftime. Dove from the 1-yard line into the end zone and fell on his head, and they took him off on a stretcher.
When you see Philip Fulmer, you see his concern. The fans don't like it, but again, that wasn't a dirty play or anything. He just, I mean, they're just running, trying to stop the clock as fast as they can.
See what happens on this play.
I think they're just going to let it run all the way down and maybe just take a delay game.
Yeah, they can snap it now and won't have to. Well, it's 3rd down and 10. Yeah, they could snap it now and game's over. Unless Vandy wants to use a timeout.
Okay.
Well, we kind of expected this after what had happened. Clock stopped at 3 seconds. If I'm the clock operator, I'd have let that sucker just go.
Boy, Zolman is upset. You'll see Zolman. He's got his hat off. Quarterback out there. I mean, Zolman is, man, is he mad. Zolman was 10 yards out on the field. He's an offensive player. Now, Ryan Alds came out, and I saw a flag thrown. Personal foul on the defense.
Both teams. Place the ball, respond to foul.
Charles, what's the story with Travis Henry?
Sprained ankle, guys. Thankfully, it's not any worse than that. That's when they'll have time to get him ready for the bowl game.
That's good news for Travis.
You know, when I saw the official there do that ejection, he may have thrown someone out of the football game. Well, that's good to see right there. Travis Henry up walking on it.
And that'll do it. Ball game over. Philip Fulmer and his Volunteers win a nail-biter over their rivals from Nashville. 28-26 the final score. Tennessee now goes to 8-3. Vanderbilt finishes 3-8. Back to Nashville in a moment.